Testing. I do not own any copyrights to this music.
Before it's all said and done, I'ma spend this money. Before it's all said and done, I'ma these hoes. And I ain't pulling out shit but the chopper though. I end the week like Domingo and Sabado. No petty when you can see it's bigger problems, bro. But I'm a I keep you know how it go. Learning that on most occasions. Apocalypse no different. It take a lot to take even more to kill 'em. I watch but I don't listen. Ox I'm pulling wagons. My mama birthday with the spirit up a zagging on the birthday of the calendar. I live like a assassin. I'm afraid before we go down with the planet. Drink some,
Gotta get my
smoke
glasses,
some,
y'all.
young, young. Before it's all done, tell one you love one. Drink some, smoke some. Before it's all done, tell one you love one. When I make it to the heavens, what's the code? Do I call the phone? Security at the gate, no plus.
Y'all, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. So this gonna be my last stream on Charlie Kirk. Honestly, I don't think I've ever talked about nobody this much. Like Charlie Kirk gotta be the only person that I can think of that I have ever talked about on YouTube. Like I don't talk about other people, celebrities, politicians, you know what I'm saying? Um I just want to say like Charlie Kirk's death has exposed racism from the black community. Appreciate my hubby for holding it down for me as my moderator. So all we ask is that y'all stay on topic, you know, you entitled to your own opinion, as I always say, but respectfully, please, because if you're not respectful, you will get kicked out of the stream. Um, you know, you know what's so sad and what's so sick? It's the fact that, a lot of black folks have exposed how much hatred they really have for a white man. Seriously. Now, I do understand how, people can be racist and stuff like that. Other cultures can be racist towards black people. But honestly, I didn't I didn't understand where Charlie was racist at. I mean, everything that he said was really true, if you ask me. Let me turn this music off. Everything that he said was really true, especially about black people. One of the things that he said that was so true about black people was the fact that, you know, the baby daddy now is the government, because the government will offer you however much money you want as a black woman as long as you keep the black man out of the house. You said black folks may be more uh racist than other cultures. Yeah, I mean, that's hidden. See, the fact that, he exposed how racist black people really can be is crazy, because it has been a hidden topic for a very long time, because it was said that black people can't be racist, but they can. If you ask me though, honestly, when we speaking in terms of trying to get a job or something like that, um and a black person is in control of you being able to get a job, I believe that black people can be racist when they stop you from getting a job because of your color, because of the complexion that you are, because of who you are. But yeah, like when black people speak on stuff like, oh, I can speak on this because I'm black and you can't because you're white. I do feel like that's very prejudiced, you know? You said black on black crime ain't racially motivated. Ain't racially motivated. What you mean? I don't know what you mean by that, but I can say that black on black crime, let's really talk about it for real though. But oh, I get what you mean. You said black on black crime ain't racially motivated. You know what? Black on black crime is just black on black hate. Hate. We hate each other. We have so much hate built up towards each other, to the point where we become violent against one another. What's up, y'all? Everybody, welcome to the live stream. Black on black crime does need to stop. Y'all, hold on, literally. Like, I want to say like 5 seconds. Don't go nowhere now. All right, we back. So, just had to get my glasses, y'all. But black on black crime, it does need to stop. But you want to know why it won't stop? It won't stop, especially in places like Chicago, Illinois, because we have a damn governor and a mayor that is okay with it. They're okay with it. They want us to continue to commit crimes. They want us to continue to dwell in sin and continue to hate one another while they live peacefully in their beautiful communities. And, meanwhile, we out here fighting each other, hating each other still. He didn't lie about what he said. And I want to try to pull up that video. Uh, you know, just like my husband said earlier, when he said, uh, when he said, us as a black race, get anybody, let me tell y'all something. Anybody that's off topic, they will be removed from the live stream. You know, anybody that can't be respectful will be removed from the live stream. We don't have time for it. Like I said, you entitled to your own opinion. I'm not knocking nobody for their opinions. But if you can't be respectful, then there is where the problem lies. And you know what? Charlie Kirk actually helped uh wake me up in certain areas. He helped change my views a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I will never in my life wish death on my worst enemy. You know, when I used to get mad, I'll say, yeah, I hope something happened to your ass. You honestly, real talk. And that's just the real truth. But he didn't get me to a point where I would never wish death or harm on my worst enemy. I won't harm my worst enemy. I won't be violent to anybody. You know, he also helped us as a people in turn. Hopefully, people can open up their eyes. But, you know, the black race is just too stubborn to realize that. People misunderstood this man. Seriously. And he didn't even mean no harm. He was just really telling the truth. But it don't make common sense saying to the people, common sense is not common to the people that don't have common sense. But he helped me honestly even more mentally. In regards to like sitting in front of somebody and going back and forth and debating with them about something, and you can just like the fact that he can sit there and have self-control and really keep himself calm and his tone calm. I mean, he's human. Of course, he you can see the frustration in him a little bit. But you know what? He helps me with that because people, man, people is so wicked and so evil. I want to play this clip though. What's up, Ivan? Exactly, we do. We live one time on earth. You know what? The problem with people is it's the fact that they believe that they are immortal. And I just keep saying that because it's true. People just feel like they will live on forever and nothing is gonna happen to them. So when you tell people like value, you need to value every moment of your life, like every chance that you get, every chance that you get to take a breath, they look at you like, duh, I do that when I wake up. How? And the first thing you think about is getting money and chasing a bag and going to work and getting your kids out the house so they can go to school. Y'all don't even thank God for another day. I got people that come in here and say, "How you gonna force your religion?" I don't force my religion. I just state the obvious. D says you still need help mentally, and how so, D? How do I still need help mentally? Because Charlie exposed racism within the black community. He helped to expose it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Me and my husband been speaking on this. We have to live around black people, our own black people that are racist towards us. So I'm not saying it's just because, you know, people are showing how much hatred they have towards white folks or, you know, just Charlie. But honestly, you know, me and my husband have been speaking on racism in our own community. They look at us like we don't even belong in our own community. You want to know why? It's because we stand out most. Because the majority of the people that we live around have not a lick of common sense, honestly. Exactly, true blackout. Jesus isn't a religion, he is the way. Exactly. That's the thing. And that's what people don't understand. Stop forcing your religion. I never said if I was Christian. I never said if I was Baptist. I never said if I was a Catholic. I never said what religion I practice. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. And I believe that there is a Jesus Christ. Real talk. So, forcing my religion. Do you mean forcing the truth? Y'all don't like the truth. This is exactly why Charlie was hated by most because they don't like the truth. They are comfortable in the lies and they want to keep living comfortably in lies. Yeah. And this is, listen, I'm a black woman and my husband is a black man. And, you know, now they want to start calling anybody that talks good about Charlie Kirk a coon. We're coons, you know, just because what he's saying is correct, what he's saying is right. It ain't our fault that y'all don't have the common sense that you're supposed to have. It's not our fault that y'all don't have a damn brain. One thing I liked about this man is he left it like it was. Oh, okay, you don't get it still? Well, it is what it is then. Move around. I mean, The fact that people just go back and forth with him and they make no sense when they be talking. Yeah, Sean, so much hatred exposed when you say the truth. Because the truth is right and the lies is wrong. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce your name. He said, "What is the will?" This is my feelings will that is behind me, and I'll definitely get to that way after the stream. But I want to talk about Charlie Kirk and how he exposed black racism. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Bootlickers and sellouts and coons because we saying what he said was true. Because see the thing with black folks, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, I don't I don't even want to just talk about black people, but this is what this stream is about. And this video that I'm gonna play eventually, once I stop running my damn mouth, is about the black culture that Charlie exposed. Um, the thing with black people is they get pissed off and they get upset when you don't agree with anything that they have to say. Anything that you don't agree with them when it don't make sense, they want you to agree with them. And when you don't, they get pissed off. Let me tell y'all something. True story, right? This happened like a month ago. So, I had my daughter with me and I went inside of the beauty supply store to pick out a hair product, for her hair, for the little kids. And there was this black lady. No offense to her, but she had, how some people they skin is like, I guess it's like a huge birthmark or whatever all over her skin, to where some of her skin was light and the other skin was black or whatever. There's no disrespect to her, but she was trying on wigs and she was up at the cash register. I was standing behind her in line with my daughter. Now I was in a rush. I was trying to get up out of there, but I wasn't rushing her. And I had a lot of things on my mind. I was thinking about a lot of things at that time. So I wasn't thinking about nobody else except for my own life. Real talk. And um this lady, she turned around because the lady that was helping her try on her wigs, I guess she wasn't satisfied by the staff member that was helping her, the employee that was helping her try on her wigs. She didn't feel satisfied enough from the answer that she got from the lady. The lady told her, "Hey, this look nice on your head." This lady turned around and looked at me and said, "No, I want to know from her." Mind you, there's other people standing behind me in the line, and black people, because black women frequent beauty supply stores, and this is just the truth. Y'all, let me slow my ass down. I'm just talking too fast. But yeah, black women, a lot of black women, they always going in beauty supply stores to get hair or hair products or whatever. So mind you, I got, some hair grease that I'm trying to buy so I can get up out of there. She's sitting up here at the register procrastinating, don't even know like what wig looks best on her, and she doesn't like what the employee told her. The employee told her that one looks best. She turns around and looks at me and says, "No, I want to know from her." And I'm looking like, "Who, me?" You know? And so she said, "Yeah, can you please tell me how this wig look on me?" I said, "I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't give you an opinion. Like I can't, not right now. Like I got too much on my mind right now, and I'm really not thinking about telling nobody how a wig looks on them. You know, this lady got pissed off, rolled her eyes at me. She started slamming stuff around on the at the register, and I'm looking like, so the employee goes on to tell her, like, "Hey, there's the man that works at the front as a security guard. Maybe he can tell you how you look since you didn't want my opinion." So she was like, "No, I asked her." And I'm like, "Well, like I said, I'm not the type of, see, let me tell y'all something. I'm the type of person, I keep it 100 with people. I'm not a yes man. I don't do what you want me to do. And it's not because she wanted my opinion. It's just the simple fact that I had things on my mind. See, they don't like when they can't get an answer out of you. And the answer that they want, real talk. Most black people, they don't like when they can't get the answer that they want. When they can't get the answer that they want and they can't get you to agree with them, they get pissed off. This lady got so mad that I didn't give her an opinion like she wanted, and she just started throwing stuff around and getting mad. And I'm looking like, well, anyway, you have a great day. And I went on throughout the aisles to go and look for something else. Meanwhile, she went back to go sit on in her seat, and she's staring in the mirror at herself, getting the wigs tried on the head, all pissed off, just mad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, true story. They just get mad, and man, I got so many other different stories I could tell y'all right now. I'm not even lying to you. They do. They come in all colors. They come in all colors. I'm so sick of black people talking about, oh, Karens, that mean that they white. No, it be black Karens too. Uh HK, what's up? Yeah, you said y'all black queens hang in there for a quick minute because this all fixing to shift and y'all gonna be the most desired and wanted females on earth. Yeah, hey, you better ask somebody. My husband, Mr. Kane, who's in the live stream. That's my husband right there. You know, he got his black queen right here. I'm just let me tell y'all something. What is it like living around your own black culture? Because I know some of y'all might want to you might want that answer. Well, what is like living around my own black culture? Um, it feels like HE double hockey sticks. It feels like pressure. It feels like prison. It feels like everything negative that you could think about. But this is exactly why we keep God first and we pray every single day. You know, it is not the white man, and I am so sick and tired of black people. Oh, it's the white man, you know, the white man, the white. Now, we can't say that the white man created the system. We can't, but honestly, we as a black culture are held responsible for our own sins. Stop blaming everybody else, because it ain't everybody else's fault. We're held liable for our own sins. We're the ones. And yes, I was a product of my own environment. Guess what? I still live in a black environment, but I'm not a product of my environment anymore because guess what? I don't act nothing like these women, and these my husband don't act nothing like these guys around here either. When I was a kid and I got older and I became a teenager, I did become a product of my own environment because I started picking up the same exact habits that everybody else had already. So I started doing the things that they did. But it took me a while and it took me years to finally figure out, like, okay, I don't want to be like them. I was 26 or 27 years old when it finally clicked, when I finally got it all together. I no longer wanted to listen to rap music. And I'm talking about drill rap music. I no longer wanted to listen to Lil Uzi, whatever his name is, and anybody else. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, some of the music I play it. I'm talking about music from when I was younger. I might play it, but I don't play like all that harsh drill rap. That's the problem right now. I love R&B. I love old school music. I really love jazz music. I really love instrumentals, honestly. I don't really like listening to people singing and rapping and stuff cuz it's annoying. I hate to say it. Uh let's see. Let me read some comments. Bradley says, "We love you. It is not wrong to it." Thank you, Bradley. Uh okay, Broderick. You know what? That name sounds so familiar. Broderick says sometimes we run into young black men who walk with their pants off of their butts. There is no excuse for this vulgarity. It uh sorry if I'm reading it wrong. It means that they are open or exactly. Let's get it. Come on, talk about it. Any black man, and shout out to my husband for wearing his pants up above his behind. Shout out. Shout out to any black man or any other race or ethnicity Matter of fact, we talking about black folks right now. So shout out to any black man out there that wears their pants up on their waist and not below their waist and not below their behind. Because it's getting so bad, it's to the point where they might as well take their pants off. I see black dudes walking around here with their pants so low that it's all the way at their knees, bro. Just take the pants off and just walk with your underwear. Just do that. Oh, my bad. You don't want to be exposed to the public, but you already exposing yourself to the public. Make it make sense. And then it reminds me of, I hate to say it, but it reminds me that you want to be a part of the rainbow community. Let's be honest. You want another man looking at your behind? And how do you hang around other men with your pants below your waist? How? Uh yeah. You said, who is this? Teresa says, so you think that you're better than your own race? The thing is, I don't think that I'm better than my own race, but I believe that I have more common sense than my own race. My own race is the problem because they lack common sense. That's the thing. And this is exactly why Charlie Kirk was misunderstood, because the black race believed that he was racist for the things that he said about the black race. And us as a black race, I didn't get offended for the things that he said. The thing is, my own race is just way too sensitive. They get upset and they get angry when you don't give them the answer that they desire. They want the answer. They want your answer to be their answer. That's the thing. I'm just being honest. The things that I'm black, and the things that he said didn't offend me. You want to know why? Because it's true. And only people that actually have common sense in 2025, they understand that. But the people that don't have common sense, that still need help up there, they're going to take everything that he said wrong. And then they pull out certain clips of what he said, and then they try to reiterate it in their own way. And they try to say, oh, well, see, look, he's racist. There you go, racist. I had to unsubscribe from this one content creator. He was a big content creator. I could not believe that this dude was pushing hate on his channel just from Charlie Kirk's death. He started pushing hate, and he started trying to get his black followers to believe that Charlie was racist. I don't think Charlie is racist. I think Charlie was just telling the truth. Simple as that. I don't think Charlie is racist. I just believe that Charlie has common sense. And can you please explain to me, why would Charlie be racist if Candace Owens was a great friend of his? Huh? Candace Owens is a black woman. Why would Charlie be racist if he can actually have conversations with black people? How is Charlie racist if Charlie sat there and basically said, hey, the government is the baby father now in black households, because they go as far as to giving the black woman free assistance, whatever assistance she needs, housing, food stamps, cash assistance, medical, all of that. You can get all of that you want and some more, as long as the black man is gone up out the household. So get his ass gone, then your struggling ass can get whatever it is that you need, and we'll be your baby father. But we're the bitter baby father, because we're also going to make sure that your baby daddy is on child support, being that you're getting this free assistance from us. Now it comes with something now. Real talk. Real talk. Exactly. Richard, long as you're gone out the household. So now you got the black woman convincing the black man, hey, the only way I can get this housing is if, you let me put on this application head of household. And I can't put you on here at all. So the black man, he agrees. Now he going out the household. Now she got the whole house to herself, and it's just her and her children. And eventually she's going to be a single mother. You know, it was already manifested in the paperwork. You manifested that. So now he really left your ass for real. Uh, let's see. The comment section is going so fast. What's up, y'all? 121 people in the live stream. Uh, Atorka, you said if I woke up in the Amazon jungle, naked, even I would be thankful that I woke up. Yeah, facts. I'm just saying, man. Look, I got a video that I'm actually uploading right now, as we speak. But what I talked about is the fact that it's more to life than just materialism, than just money, a house and a car. And take it from me and my husband both was homeless for 2.5 years, and we got a lot out of that. And what we got was, you know what, our life is more valuable than all of this other stuff: money, cars, a hotel room for a night, a new house, or whatever the case may be. See, you got to honor your life first before all of that. That's just me. That's just how I feel. That's just my opinion. Okay. And I don't want to get harmed or anything for my opinion, because I mean, that's the new thing. We have to worry about being harmed for our opinions. I got into altercations with black people for real in the past because they did not like what I said. And what I said is what I said, and I said it respectfully. But see, they don't even like respectful conversations. They get mad, they blow up, I'm just saying. And I'm not about to be talking to nobody like that. But I mean, Charlie said the truth. A lot of black people dislike this man because he talked about the black pilot. He would question why there is a black pilot. What y'all think about that? Do you think that's wrong, what Charlie said? Do you think he shouldn't have said that? This is my thing. How is he racist for saying that? This is my opinion. How is Charlie racist for saying, "Hey, I would question if there is a black why is there a black pilot?" When black people would question, why is there a white man in the NBA? When black people would question, why is this white man playing football? When black people would question, hey, why is this white man here at this damn barbecue and he wasn't even invited? When black people would question, why is this white man in a black church? I mean, black people, he exposed racism for real from black folks. Because how is it that black people can do black people things, but white people can't do white people things? How is it that black people can hire majority black folks, but if white people hire majority white folks, they're racist? But you know, black people shouldn't hire, if you get what I'm saying. Like, it seemed like it's more so like a black white thing. It's like a black white thing. Yeah, it is wrong. Uh exactly. You said, what is a black church? It is church open to all people. You feel me? But even the pastors be racist in the black church. You want to know why? Because they don't welcome white folks in their church majority of the time. They don't want white people in their church. That right there is just pure racist. Because I don't really think that a white person, and I could be wrong, I don't know, but I don't think that a white person would complain if a black person stepped foot in their church. They might welcome you. White people are very welcoming sometimes, like real talk. I'm not gonna say all the time now, because I'm just being 100. Me and my husband have went in like places where it was predominantly white, and we got some looks, but they are welcoming though. They're not gonna be like, get the hell out of here, you don't belong here. you know why is it that us black people can step foot I'm telling you, man, me and my husband see stuff like this all the time. Why is it that when black people step in a white community, white people don't say, look at them, look at they're black, why are they here in our communities? They need to go, they need to get out. I'm gonna be honest with y'all now, y'all. I'm gonna tell the truth about myself. Now, y'all might go back to my old videos and y'all might say, oh, well, her views is completely different from September 15, 2025. You want to know why? Because thanks to Charlie Kirk. Let's clap it up for Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk actually helped change my views on certain things. Real talk. So I'm not the same Danny that I was a week ago or 2, 3 weeks ago. I'm not. But I have spoke on black racism for sure, though. For sure. But why is it that when black people step foot inside of a white community, white people, they don't say, oh, look at that look at the black person, get them out of here, they need to go, and say, get your black ass from out of our, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't do that. But I can honestly say here in my community of black folks, when white people step foot in our community, we go hard and we go ham and we make them feel so uncomfortable that it is so damn racist, and it is so embarrassing, bro. I see black people pointing fingers at the white people right in their face and saying, get the fuck out, you don't belong over here. I mean, geez, man. Come on, let's be honest. Like, black people are racist as well. That's just the truth. And this is coming from a black woman with black parents, with a black brother, with black children. Yeah, I'm just being honest. We need to love each other, and it's sad. It's so sad that a lot of these different cultures of people are in this together as far as hatred towards this man. But then when his name no longer exists and nobody's no longer talking about him on social media at all, everybody gonna be back at hating one another and a racist shit again. So let's be honest, you know. But anyway, I just really want to play this clip. I'm still talking, y'all. Let me play this clip. So this clip says Charlie Kirk tells a student the truth about black culture that he has never heard before. Okay.
Right. So they had nowhere to go. And then there was laws put in place to put them into prison. And after...
Oh, it's okay. No. What's your name? What's your name?
Jackson.
It takes a lot of courage to come up here.
Yeah, no.
Let's just take a deep breath. I'm not here to pick on you.
No,
I appreciate.
I'm just saying, the little girl Gracie's Corner, she has a song that's just take a deep breath whenever you feel angry. Just take a lot of y'all adults should really listen to that. Y'all so damn sensitive. It don't make no sense. Then y'all get frustrated. He got to tell this man, just calm down. Take a deep breath. It actually took a lot of courage for you to face me. R.I.P. God rest his soul. This is no disrespect to Charlie Kirk, and this is all due respect in a very funny way. But this man, Charlie Kirk, was an asshole. He was an ass, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, in a good way.
Appreciate it. No, it's okay. I know this can be very intimidating getting to a crowd like this. So just take a deep breath. Let me.
Okay, y'all. I'm gonna stop pausing it.
Let me make your argument. I'm gonna make your argument for you, and I'm gonna tell you why I think it's wrong. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, so the argument that is being made, that you want to make, is that there's legacies of injustice.
Yes.
And that those legacies impact one generation after the other, and when those things get handed down, you have what is a system or a systemic issue that isn't just isolated in 2024. So the argument that you're making is that what happened in 1954 does impact 2024 of decade after decade after decade. Let me tell you my response to that. Of course, there is some truth to that. However, every culture, every person in this audience can point to issues that families or generations prior had that we're able to overcome. So the question is, why is it that Black America is one of the only populations, that and Native American populations, that have not been able to overcome such evil, horrors, and injustices? Here's my perspective, and I want to hear what you have to say, is that the number one way to keep people out of poverty, lower the crime rate, and have a better society is whether or not you have a mom and a dad around. Would we agree that's an ideal? Yeah.
And the moms and dads, they don't need to just be around. They need to have common sense. And they need to be there for their children emotionally and mentally instead of just being there for your child. There's a difference to me, because Trust me, I am a prime example. I've had parents, you know, well, one of my parents, which was mom, dad wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? See, this is a problem in black households, man. Black households. The father ain't never around. Why is that? Because sometimes either if it ain't the government that gets involved, it is just the black mother that is just overly bitter. Real talk. Or I'm not even just gonna say that. Sometimes they just have situations as to where the black man decides, hey, I just want to go my own way. And then they just forget about their kids. Like, you have a child here, hello. You know what I'm saying? But I really feel like parents should be a great support to their children mentally. It's my feelings, Will, with all these feelings on here, mentally and emotionally. Real talk. Because without that, who are you? Like, you my parent, but like, for real, who are you? It's a difference between being there physically and just being there, mentally and emotionally. You got parents that are there physically. They put a roof over your head. Like my husband, shout out to him, clothes on your back, food in your mouth. They give you things, but they're not there for you for real, for real. Like you really need them to be.
Cool. And so what happened in 1964 is that 25% of black youth were raised by a single mom.
If you or a loved one were
That is so true. Most black people are raised by single women, or most black people are raised by the grandparents, because the mother doesn't want to be there and the father doesn't either. Sometimes these kids, they go to the streets. Trust me, I see it in my own community. This is exactly why there's a lot of crime and the crime rate is high. You want to know why? Because you got 11, 12, and 13-year-olds out here in the streets. They're leaving the household and their parents is allowing them to do so because they don't want to be there. They're too lazy. Parenting in the black community has become extremely lazy, y'all. Seriously. Think it. Okay, let's go back to it.
That's the number one issue happening in the country, and it's not because of systemic racism. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that. Okay.
So let me go back because I kind of missed it a little
So
bit.
what happened in 1964 is that 25% of black youth and justices. Here's my
Sorry, y'all. I gotta kind of rewind a little bit.
Issues that families or generations prior had that we're able to overcome. So
you said my parents were lazy parents and they were white. Yeah, that's crazy. And you know what? Some parents as well, no matter the culture, they work too much to even care about their damn child and how their child really feels. It's like you don't even care. You just always at work all the time. You to the point where you have no time or no patience whatsoever for your own child. So what was the whole purpose of you having a child then? Because you still need to be there for your child. Yeah, I get it. You working. Okay, it ain't the child fault. Hey, we didn't ask to be here. I'm just being honest. We didn't say, make me be born. Like, you decided to lay down and open up your legs or whatever the case may be, and we got here. So it is your job and your duty to be our parents. Don't put work in front of your child.
the question is, why is it that Black America is one of the only populations, that and Native American populations, that have not been able to overcome such evil, horrors, and injustices? Here's my perspective, and I want to hear what you have to say, is that the number one way to keep people out of poverty, lower the crime rate, and have a better society is whether or not you have a mom and a dad around, which we agree that's an ideal. Yeah? Cool. And so what happened in 1964 is that 25% of black youth were raised by a single mom. Today, it's nearly 75%, about 70%. So that means that 1 in 4 black kids will have a father around. Only 1 in 4.
Can I please say the number one out of the 4 is my daughter, who's actually here in the household with 2 parents that are black, that are raising her together, and it's doing a terrific job at that. See, you see how rare that is? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. In the community that I live in, there is nothing but black single mothers. I'm telling you, I don't even see the fathers nowhere around. And when they do come from time to time to check on their kids or whatnot, they be straight from the block. Just got done, posted up on the block in the hood. Just got done running from the ops, chasing the ops down, doing drill music, and then here they come trying to be around. But they're only around in the household every now and then because they trying to get that booty from their baby mamas. That's all they care about. So while your child sleeping in the other room, the same child that you refuse to be there for, you up there getting pounded. I mean, my bad. Oh yeah, that happens too, by the way. These black men, they like getting pounded by their woman. So my bad. Sorry. Didn't want to. But anyway, you got the black woman getting pounded by her baby daddy. And instead of him saying, hey, I want to see my child, let me check on him. I ain't been for him for a while. You just decide, let me get some tail and I'm gone. So yeah, they're there, but they're not there at the same time. They ghost, they Casper, they're non-existent. And you can disagree if you want to. That's perfectly fine with me. I'm okay with the disagreements. I see them in the comment sections. I saw somebody say I'm a coon, but I understand that is the thing that's going on now. Us black folks that speak up for Charlie and that agrees with everything he's saying majority of the time, we're called the coons. So yeah, it don't make sense to me, but yeah.
That's the number one issue happening in the country, and it's not because of systemic racism. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay, so I think I misjudged you at first. Like when you brought up the 1350 stat, I had just assumed that it was like inherently like eugenics based, kind of, So, and that's where mine came from. Like I think we are on the same page that like we know what the problem is, and that's what I mean. Like
no, and thank you for saying that, because I think we actually have a lot more in common in this country than the media would ever believe.
No, definitely, right? And like what my point I was trying to say is I don't think that we're doing enough to help these black communities catch up. Whereas like they're underfunded and they're not, and they're over policed, and there's these factors that are contributing to, like you said, these single parent households.
Yeah, so we're not going to agree on this. This is where we'll disagree, and that's okay. I have more of a view of Thomas Sowell on this, where he believes it's far more about culture, values, and worldview than stuff and over policing. I believe there's not enough police in black neighborhoods. You're going to disagree with that. Let's not even get into it. Okay.
I want to say, coming from a black woman again that actually lives here in a black community, that lives in the city of Chicago, yeah, there is not enough black police. I mean, I'm sorry, not black police, but there is not enough officers in the black community. If anything, there is enough officers out here to harass us, and it be our own kind too. Okay, now y'all talking about coons, we got some real coons around here. The real black police officers that are actually coons, that actually harasses us for nothing. They just abuse their power. See, it was times when me and my husband was walking up the street with our child, minding our own business, not doing any harm to anybody, just being a family. We had a black officer that was abusing his power towards us. You know, he just wanted to find a reason to try to lock one of us up. All they do is they come around here and they harass us, and they put tickets on your cars, and they don't even fight crime. They don't care about crime. They actually allow the crime to keep happening. They allow the gunshots to go off. They don't try to come and search for all that shit that y'all see on the news is bullcrap. These CPD officers don't do anything, and they're never in our communities, bro. And when they do be over here, they harass us, and then they go back to the police station and they talk about how they harassed us. That's all they do. They don't try to protect us. I thought y'all was supposed to serve and protect. Y'all don't even do that.
Okay, but I think we can ask a question, and I want your opinion. Why is it that the single motherhood rate in Black America went from 25% to 75% over 50 years, where America did become less racist?
What, like, why did it?
Yeah, so what caused Black America to go from one of the strongest nuclear family communities in the country to now the weakest by far?
This is just my opinion. I think it was the system. And by the way, I've never seen this video before. I just pulled it up. I believe that it is the government. Because, like I said, Charlie did say before that, the government is the new baby father in the household with the black women. They push they push the black man out and they say, hey, here you go. You can get housing, Medicaid, food stamps, cash assistance, whatever you need, long as the man is gone. And I feel like that is what broke black families up. It is the system. And this is just my opinion before he says it. What's up, everybody coming in the stream? Lasha, what's up? You said they call women like us Candace Owens. You feel me? Somebody just told me I was a coon or something, Hey, that's your opinion. But see, that's what I'm saying. Black people, most black people that have no common sense, we coons to them because we got common sense. And because we don't think like them and we don't move like them and we don't do the things that they do. When we agree that Charlie Kirk should have never died, for his opinions or whatever the case may be, or we agree that, Charlie Kirk's death took a toll on us because we actually have a heart, we actually have compassion. They disagree. They feel like, oh, he deserved what he got. Do y'all feel the same way about King Von then? Oh, my bad. Probably don't.
I can't answer your question.
No, that's okay. No, that's great. And is, again, it's hard to get up and have these conversations. Here's my opinion. My opinion is that, yes.
Oh, by the way, black folks actually glorified King Von's crimes, and it was so wrong for King Von to die. He should never died, okay? He should have never died. I believe that anybody that commits a crime should do jail time, prison time, okay? I don't feel like I said, Charlie Kirk's death actually changed my views about a lot of things. The system believes that they are God. They believe, and this is the truth. The system believes that they are God. They believe that they can, give you the death penalty. But I feel like let them rot. Let them rot and let that be God's choice for them to die. Okay? That's just me. That's my thoughts and my opinions. I believe when a person commits a very harsh crime, like a school shooter or anything I feel like they should let them do prison time and let them rot and let it be God's decision and God's choice if he's ready for them to go, not the system. But these people, black folks, have glorified King Von's crimes. They love the fact that he committed crimes. Y'all, I live in Chicago, okay? So at times I have to ride past O Block. They took the King Von mural down, but it was up there and people was just worshiping it like he's some sort of god. And they adored everything about King Von. He committed crimes. He was very violent. Then they hated to see him go, they hated to see him go. But you got people like Charlie Kirk that was a firm believer in Jesus Christ, that spoke on the truth. Y'all might disagree with me or whatever the case may be, but he didn't deserve to die. And you got the whole world pretty much glorifying his death. Make it make sense. Welcome, Ghost 40. Welcome. You said crime is due to music influence and why the Republicans was against it and got a bad rap in the 80s and the 90s for going against it. And even though it's freedom of speech, they seen the long-term effect of it. Exactly. I gotta be honest with you. The reason why drill rap music enhanced to the worst way ever, I feel like it was Ice Cube, and a lot of people, I don't see a lot of people talking about that, but I believe that Ice Cube uh had a bad, and I could be wrong. It could have been other rap artists before him, but I think Ice Cube had a bad influence on a lot of young black men. because now they out here, doing drill rap music. And you know what? Chicago has a very bad negative influence on other cities across the United States. This is why everybody got ops all of a sudden. Everybody doing drill rap music. Everybody wearing ski masks. Everybody want to be a YN. You know, young YNs getting little young YTs, young thoughts, pregnant, and leaving them with the babies. And I mean, when I tell you what he's saying is not wrong, it's true. I see it in my own community. You have to take it from a person like me that lives in a black community, okay? In Chicago, in the hood pretty much. You know what I'm saying? I've been born and raised in Chicago. I've seen this go on since, honestly, drill rap music started in 2011 or 2012. Chief Keef is the one that started it. So Chief Keef started drill rap music, and ever since then, it's like back to back to back to back. Now you got all these different drill rap artists. Then you got the crime rates getting higher, and then you got the governor of Illinois and the mayor of the city of Chicago lying and shit about it, talking about there is no crime in Chicago. The crime rate is low. Lies detected.
There was some social welfare that subsidized single motherhood, which means it's easier to get cash from the government if you.
Edwin says Keith was my next door neighbor. I went to school with him. I went to school. I didn't even know who he was until everybody started hanging out the window talking about Jiggy. I didn't even know who he was. And that was actually around the time when he made that first drill rap song. And if y'all go look at the video, I know some of y'all probably don't want. If you look at the video, you're gonna see nothing but a bunch of YNs with dreadlocks shaking their dreads and shaking their dreads. And ever since then, the crime rate in Chicago skyrocketed. I'm not lying to you.
Say you are single than if you are married. I think we can agree that's stupid. That shouldn't happen, right? But I would love your perspective on this. Do you think in black culture, getting married and staying with one woman for your entire life is elevated and celebrated?
No, not at all.
I think that's the problem.
I think the problem stems from a lack of education. I think these communities don't have. I don't think a lot of them have the proper education or learning from previous to.
Wait, if you've taken Uber.
He said that he believes that it's a lack of education. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. A lot of black children can care less about an education. And if you take it from me, a person that didn't like school, I did not like school. But just because you don't like school and you don't like to go, it doesn't make you less of a person, and it doesn't make you dumb, and it doesn't make you unintelligent. It just means that you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like school really because of the bullying from the children and the teachers. But I didn't like school because I really couldn't believe the majority of the things that was taught to us. I just felt like we were being lied to. I mean, they hid our history from us. And the real history book to us black Americans is the Bible. That's the real history. Okay? So I just didn't like school, and it didn't make me slow or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't like school. It's just I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I don't feel like education. So, okay, I want to say this. Now, in terms of being able to spell and read and, articulate things well and do math and stuff like that, I feel like, yeah, kids do need that. Children, teenagers, they do need that. But honestly, I don't more so think it's just a lack of education overall. I don't. I just feel like he said, it's the parents. The parents ain't there. The parents is absent. Parenting is Because if you ask me, sir, you said a lack of education. They need education. See, the problem in the black community already is the fact that the school system is pretty much raising these children. Because a lot of these parents, they hate when their children are around them 24/7. They be like, oh my God, please hurry up, so put your stuff on so you can go to school. Like, seriously. So we are forced out of the house to get to school, and then when we come back, we have to worry about lazy parenting. Our parents don't want to help you with homework. They don't want to help you learn anything. They just want to yell at you all day. They want to whoop ass all day. They lose their patience, and they can't wait until the next day so your ass can go back to school. The school system is really raising these children. So I don't feel like it's the education system. I believe that it is the parenting. Maybe I might have said all this shit wrong. But yeah, overall, you get where I'm coming from. I believe that it is a lack of parenting that is the issue. But we gonna hear what they gotta say. Oh, snap. Hold on. Run it back.
I think the problem stems from a lack of education. I think these communities don't have. I don't think a lot of them have the proper education or learning from previous to realize what will lead them to a more successful future. I think that if we funded more education in these systems, then these men wouldn't be so focused on stuff like gang violence to get protection or money or
you have a great
stuff like that, and then end up in prison and then end up with their child having a single mother.
Fair enough. So
sorry, I didn't.
No, it's great. So there's a lot of examples that there's some merit to your argument, but it's more about the quality of education than the amount of money we spend on it.
Yeah.
Such as, that's why I'm a big proponent of school choice and educational vouchers and opposing the teacher unions. But the core is this, is that the number one predictor for a kid of any skin color, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, is whether or not dad is around.
You see, y'all, I've never seen this video before, I promise you. And it's so true. I'm telling you. This is coming from a person that's been living in black communities my whole life. I live in Chicago, so I have to witness this right before my very eyes. I see the lazy parenting. It is trash, man. I'm telling you. Like, if you don't, these parents, let's just be 100 and let's just call a spade a spade. They hate their children. They hate them. They hate their kids. They don't want to be around them. They don't want to raise them. All they want to do is, and this is the 100% truth, what I'm about to say, and I know a lot of probably black women that disagree with me is probably going to hate the fact that I'm saying this because they know it's true. A lot of black women in these black communities decide to only open up their legs because they know that the benefits that it comes with. They know that they can benefit off of having a child. They look at children as tokens. That's why they have no love for their own children. They don't care what their kids do when they turn 10 and 11 or 9 years old. Go your ass outside and stay out there all day for all I care. I don't care what happens to you. But when something happens to you, then I want to profit off of what happens to you. And I want to get some money. So I'm going to cry to the public and say, oh, my baby. Oh, he was a good kid. Yeah, as long as you're getting some money, you ain't give a damn anyway. I'm just being 100. A lot of these black women profit off of having children. This is exactly why a lot of them have different baby fathers and 6, 7 different children with multiple men. And I'm not saying this is the case for every black woman. So y'all got to understand that. Don't say that I'm saying it for every black woman, but majority of the black women that I have lived around and that I have known personally, they profit off of having children. They know that it can get them somewhere. So you go from being homeless and single and you ain't never had a child to, you know what? I want some money. I want to stop being homeless. All right, let me get pregnant. They get pregnant. And then next thing you know, they do child support, they do cash assistance food stamps. They get them a housing choice voucher through Section 8. You know, they get Medicaid assistance. They get all the assistance that they have ever wanted. And they know that the only way to keep getting that is to keep having children. Next thing you know, she done got popped off by Jerry. She done got popped off by Daquan. She done got popped off by Timothy and them. And it's like, they okay with that. They okay with that lifestyle. I see females walking around here and they be having different men coming in and out the house and they got like 5 children running around. They don't care about their kids. They don't care. Excuse me, y'all. Frank, what's up? You said I grew up in an Italian household. My father was very aggressive and did not show love much. I learned how not to be to my kids when I have them. Kids need tough love, but not all the time. Must be balanced. True. And if you ask me, I believe that the father should always be present in a household. And I believe that a father should really raise their son. Seriously. It shouldn't just be the woman raising the son. Y'all wonder why these little boys running around here effeminate than a mug, because it's the mom that's raising them and the father ain't. And the little boy always crying, pouting, always whiny, and he do girl things because he around his mama all the damn time. He needs his daddy. And you know what's sad? Even when some of these fathers are in the household, they so damn effeminate that they rub off on their damn sons. Now the little boy acting just like you too, wearing tight ass pants and half tops and bonnets and stuff. I mean, hey, I do not agree with that. I got a masculine ass man in this household. He don't wear no half tops and no skinny tight ass jeans and the jeans underneath his behind with bonnets on. Like, why the hell would me and him both be walking around the house with a bonnet on? Make it make sense. You know? Uh, Tyler, what's up? You said our job as parents is to prepare these little copies of ourselves to be able to take on the world. They gotta run it after we are gone. Exactly. Exactly. We supposed to parent our children, parent them correctly. It is literally in the scriptures. It's in scriptures. The Proverbs. Train a child up in the way that they should go so that they won't depart from it. We supposed to train our children up. But people are literally going against the scriptures. You want to know why? Because they say stuff like, oh, they tell me when I quote Bible scriptures, oh, you do everything according to the Bible. You do not have to live life according to the Bible. Well, I have to disagree, because if you believe in God like you say you do, and you believe in Jesus Christ, then we will all want to be more like Christ, right? We all want to walk righteously. We all want to follow the laws of the Bible, but nobody wants to do that. And Charlie Kirk is a prime example because he quoted the Bible scriptures, and the way how I saw it, he was living his life according to the scriptures, him and his wife. But hey, you can disagree with me if you want to. Fuzzy says DEI does hire good grief. It is affirmative action. Uh, who is this? Carrie says, I was the mother and the father. I think I did well. Hey, I'm gonna be honest to you. Sometimes it gotta be like that. You never know what happens in the household. The father, you don't never know. Okay, so sometimes it does take us to be mom and dad at the same time. And I can't say my oldest 3 children, their father was not in a picture because he decided not to be even when I wanted him to be. He decided 3 kids later, I don't want to be there anymore. And I had to take on the responsibilities of raising them myself. And I feel like I was still a damn good mother, no matter what the system says.
And I look as an outsider, albeit, at current black culture, right? From the athletes to the rap music to the music, I don't see the nuclear family elevated, nor is it an internal black cultural expectation. Now, I will ask some of the white individuals here in this audience, okay? If you guys got pregnant and all of a sudden you didn't even know who the father was around, well, how would your parents react? Not great, right? Yes? Unfortunately, in black America, this is kind of accepted. Would you?
So this is my thing. I want to be honest with you. I don't. Okay. So I feel like most black women that get pregnant, they do know who this is the tricky part, right? They do know who the baby daddy is, but at the same time, they don't know who the baby daddy is. You get what I'm saying? No, you probably don't get what I'm saying. So let me break it down to you. When the system comes into play and you need that free assistance, you're going to be like, I don't know who the baby daddy is, because you don't want him to get on child support, you know? But some of them really don't know their baby daddies. They only know Pookie by his name, Pookie. They don't know that his real name is Daquan Wilson. They don't know that because they never took time out to really get to know Daquan Wilson. They just know that his name is Pookie from the block. So yeah, they know who they slept. They remember who they slept with. They knew who they laid down with. It ain't like they had their eyes shut and he was just pumping and then that's it, and then now she pregnant. Nah, she know exactly who the baby daddy is, but she really don't know who he is by his identity. That's the thing. I've had female friends, black female friends, that would get pregnant by a bunch of pookies and they don't even know the real name. They just slept with them and stuff like that, and they hung around him multiple times and they don't know his name still. So when he comes around from time to time to see his child, Pookie, how long you about to stay? You still know him by Pookie. You still ain't asking for his real name because you want to know why? Pookie feels like he's not about to give out his name for real because he believes that you're an FBI agent. I know some of y'all just got confused, like, huh? I say the same thing. These black guys out here, black dudes that be gang banging and hustling and all of that, they have the audacity to lay down with the female and don't want to give up their identity because they don't want her to know who they really are, because they believe, hey, if she find out who I am, she gonna go to the police and tell the police what I'm doing on the block. Yeah.
You agree?
I can't say. I grew up around a lot of white people, so I can't
All right,
say.
okay. Well, but it is a fact that it is accepted, right? So that's the problem. The problem is that it's a cultural norm that has then turned into the cycle of poverty. The cycle of poverty can break very quickly if fathers stayed with the women they impregnate.
But most of these fathers aren't just leaving. A large majority of these fathers are ending up in prison. Like,
Okay,
this is
good point. Why do you?
I can say to that, my oldest 3 children, their father ended up in prison for like 8 years. And he got out and he only wanted to remain relevant because of me being in a new relationship, me being with someone else. So it's like, oh, let me show my face now. Let me be relevant. And then he's gone after that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of black fathers do end up in prison. But shout out to my husband, y'all. He's not a jailbird, and I really appreciate that.
Go to prison?
because you commit crime. But
okay,
because
yeah.
the prison system has been targeted against minorities.
Again, we're not going to agree here.
Right,
That's okay.
Yeah.
There's actually under enforcement of the laws when it comes where there's, for example, only half of murders in Chicago get solved.
Right. But are they all black people though?
Almost all of them, yeah. Like 80,
Well,
80.
if they're not solved, how do we know that they're black people?
Well, because it's a black victim in a black neighborhood by a black gang. So it's like you can assume at a great approximation that in the west side of Chicago,
50% of the murders in Chicago that go unsolved are all black people.
not all. No, I said 85%. But we don't know who the perp is. But again, if you have a black victim at 2 a.m. in a black neighborhood, it's reasonable to say that it was a black on black crime. 90% of murders after 2 a.m. in Chicago are black on black crimes.
Facts. Now, I want to add in that majority of the time, this what y'all don't know, drum roll please. Majority of the time, y'all won't even believe this, it be the police committing the crimes in our own communities. Why did I say that? Because they come through in unmarked cars and they shoot up our neighborhoods, and then they lie on the news and they say, oh, we haven't caught the person. You want to know why they haven't caught them? Because the police is the ones committing the crimes. Half the times. I'm not going to say all the time, but half the times it is the police. They riding around at nighttime in unmarked cars because see, Chicago has to keep their numbers up. They have to keep the crime rate high, and they have to, man, I'm talking about they have to delete. That is their job. It is to delete. It is to depopulate. They are sick and tired of our asses in these communities. So they ride through and they shoot it up, okay? And they don't care what innocent lives they took. And then they turn around and they lie on the news and they say, oh, there was a shooting, but you know, the perpetrators have yet to be caught because the police did it. That's why. And I'm not saying that's all the time either.
When did I come?
Shaniqua, glad you can agree. Yeah. See, hold on.
Half of all murders in Chicago are unsolved, that means half of all murderers are walking free. So we have an under-enforced.
So Charlie, RIP, I still respect him, still give him all respect. He gets all my respect. But what Charlie doesn't know is these crimes, half these crimes are committed by CPD. That's what Charlie don't know. And this is exactly why the crime rate in Chicago is extremely high, because it has everything to do with CPD as well. Did y'all know that did y'all know, I wish I could ride around and show y'all right now. There's a certain part on the south side of Chicago. There's a liquor store and a police station is right across the street from the liquor store. In front of the liquor store, a bunch of guys be standing out there gang banging, toting guns, and rolling dice and doing a little, the dice or whatever. You want to know why? Because they're paying the police to do it. And the police is okay with it. Okay? No, not 35th, Edwin. Honestly, 35th, I know exactly what you're talking about. The Chicago Police Headquarters. Oh yeah, right there on 36. Is it 36 or 37? It's the projects is right there next to the police station, and they always out there gang banging and stuff like that right there in front of the police station. They commit crimes literally right there in front of, and this has been going on for years and nothing is done about it. You want to know why? Make it make sense. Why would there be a Chicago police headquarters right next to the low income projects? Make it make sense. And majority of the crimes happen right there, but nothing is done about it. Make it make sense.
Enforcement of laws. We have the ladies here in this audience should know this. You know that there's over 600,000 rape kits in this country that have not even been opened or tested, which means that there are women who say that they've been raped and their kits are not even put in the system. There are probably hundreds of thousands of rapists that walk free in this country.
Yeah, no, our system is
no.
R.I.P. Stephen Darby, y'all. But Stephen Darby said that, right before his death, he died in 2017. He said that this world is going to be normalized by pedophilia. And it is already. I see 12 and 13-year-olds, little girls, hopping in cars with grown-ass men. And it's not their fathers, It be Pookie and Ray Ray and them that's standing on the corner hustling and stuff, and they like 27. And they picking up 12 and 13-year-old little girls and riding around with them in cars. And, these little 12 and 13-year-olds, they going to parties, they snorting coke, all type of stuff. True story. I'm not lying to y'all. Dead ass. Yeah, this world is already literally, perversion is normalized. Seriously. It's too late.
What I'm saying, though, that's an under-enforcement of laws, though.
Yeah, because our system is terrible.
No, I know, but you said we have an over-enforcement. I don't think we have enough people in jail.
You don't think we have enough people?
No, like I said, half of all murderers walk free. We don't even know who they are.
Okay, but I sure, whatever, but I'm talking, I don't think that, I don't think that black people are as, more than 50% of exonerations from prison are black people. Like, a black person is more likely than any other race to be tried for a crime that they did not commit and then to be released from prison for a crime that they did not commit.
That's not totally true. Let's pretend that it is. It's because they're in front of the justice system more because of the high crime. But let's try to find some agreement.
I'm talking percentages. Percentages of it.
So I want y'all to go look this up when you get a chance. There was a situation that happened on the south side of Chicago. Well, literally, it was in the South Loop in the Chinatown area. This happened a day before Charlie Kirk died. It was a black on black crime situation. It was a baby mama, baby daddy situation. I'm not sure if some of y'all heard about this, but a girl by the name of I forgot her name, but her last name was Meeks. She got shot in the face by the other baby mama, and the kids was around and everything, and the baby daddy was standing right there. First, they got into a fight, and then, Miss Meeks got shot in her face in front of her child while she was about to drop him off at school. The girl had a license to carry, but the girl that had the license to carry was from the state of Wisconsin, and she drove all the way out here to Chicago. She ended up literally walking free like 2 days ago. And now the family is screaming that they want justice. CPD let her go after she killed this girl in front of kids. This literally happened the day before Charlie died, y'all. These people are committing crimes and walking free. They committing crimes and walking free. There is no National Guards here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I live in Chicago and I have yet to see a National Guard walk in the streets. I have not seen no National Guards. Now, like I said, I know ICE is out here, but that's about it. People are out here committing crimes in Chicago and they still walking free on the daily. And nothing is happening to them.
Exonerations.
No, it's because they're in the system more, though. It's because you have more cases. But anyway, let's pretend that's true. Let's pretend the system's totally racist.
Actually, there's more white people in the system because white people make up
no, for sure.
Yeah. So you're just incorrect there, right? Like you're doing to me.
But they don't commit as many crimes.
Okay, so let's be cordial. Let's be cordial.
You're not being, so let's calm down a little bit, okay?
You're not being.
Right. See, now he getting beside himself because he feel like I know what I'm talking about. See, now he getting worked up and he getting beside himself because he believes that he knows exactly what the hell he's talking about,
Am I being sweet to this guy? All right.
Taking it too easy on him.
Closing, though. If you could say to Black America, here is more money, more stuff, more housing, or more fathers, which one would you choose?
Hold on, he say what again?
Here is more money, more stuff, more housing, or more fathers. Which one would you choose?
More funding. I don't think, because fathers, I think that you need to solve the problem from the bottom. I don't think you can just plant a bunch of fathers in and they're going to stay there. Like you said, they're just going to, like in the culture, it's not part of the culture. So they would just leave.
Okay, I can agree to that part. I can say that, but I agree to a certain extent. If you say, here's more fathers in the household, I feel like in 2025, it would be a lot more chaotic. Honestly, it's already chaotic because these children are being raised by the mothers and the parenting is becoming extremely lazy. And it shouldn't even be just the mothers raising, it should be the fathers too. But if we talking in terms of 2025, these fathers have lost their rabbit ass minds. And a lot of their asses is out here doing drill music. They looking for the ops. They got ops. They in and out of jail, stuff like that. So if you put the fathers in the household right now, 9 times out of 10, they will make the household a lot more worse.
Hypothetical, meaning if the fathers were.
But I also do not believe that more funding will help the situation either. Because let's be honest, just funding itself is just not going to help. More housing, not going to help. It's not.
Where to stay? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. If I just knew for 100% fact that they were going to stay.
No,
sure.
we have agreement. So during the BLM stuff 4 years ago, did we hear anything from the national BLM leader?
I also want to say I am not pro BLM. I know a lot of people gonna be like, what? Yeah, I know about the BLM movement, and it is a damn fraud, and I don't like it, and I never liked it when they first came out with it. I never believed that black lives only matter. You want to know why? Because black lives only matter when a white man is standing over a black man with a gun and he done shot his brains out. That's the only time that black lives matter. I do not believe that black lives matter, because if black lives matter, then why is there no marches and no protests when there is black on black crime? And this is my honest opinion. This is just me. This is how I've been felt about it. Because if that was the case, I would have been marching out there with them every chance they got. Yeah, rock. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. Man, cut it out. And even with Juneteenth, the thing is, we are a lost ass race, and we don't even know where we came from in the first place. So why are we sitting up here celebrating some Juneteenth? I don't celebrate none of that shit. And I know a lot of y'all might disagree with me on this, but hell, I do not celebrate holidays. I don't celebrate holidays, and I stopped celebrating holidays 3 years ago when I found out about it. Okay. It's deeper than that, for real. And I feel like we must do our research, but that's besides the point. Real talk. Sir Jacob, appreciate you. Damn, Carrie says my black husband of 20 years goes to jail every freaking year. Sad to say. That is sad. That's sad. And I hope that, he goes to God so that he can turn away from his wicked ways. Because a lot of these guys, before they end up in a damn household with their children, they need to turn away from their wicked ways first. And the mothers do too.
Or anybody about black dads staying around with women they impregnate. Did anyone mention that? No. Why?
Wait a minute, let me rewind. I think I missed what he was saying.
Fathers, I think that you need to solve the problem from the bottom. I don't think you can just plant a bunch of fathers in and they're going to stay there. Like you said, they're just going to, like in the culture, it's not part of the culture. So they would just leave.
It's a hypothetical, meaning if the fathers were to stay.
Were to stay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. If I just knew for 100% fact that they were going to stay.
No,
sure.
we have agreement. So during the BLM stuff 4 years ago, did we hear anything from the national BLM leaders or anybody about black dads staying around with women they impregnate? Did anyone mention that? No. Why?
Facts. I heard somebody in the back say because it's separate issues. Because it's like they only care about their money. BLM, the BLM movement, they was exposed a couple years ago, actually. They only care about making millions of dollars and buying mansions and shit like that. And, they're the rainbow community. So, of course, they're not going to bring up, issues within the household of, black men being there or not. Like, they're not going to mention that because they only cared about the coins, man. They sitting up here talking about, yeah, Black Lives Matter, wearing the BLM shirts and stuff like that. And then every time a black person hears about my black ass talking about Black Lives don't matter, they get pissed off at me. What you mad at me for when clearly I can see that black lives don't matter? We see the crime rate still high, black on black crime still in the communities. We still hate each other, by the way. So even after all the protesting and the marching that we do, we still hate each other. Let's be 100.
Actually, it's the fundamental issue. The fundamental issue is if you have a father around, less likely to commit crimes, more likely to graduate high school, more likely to get a job, less likely to be in poverty.
How do we get there? Like, this is what I'm like, how do we get there?
Well, the first of which is you must raise the standard of expectation, both internally and externally in the black community, that we're not going to put up with men, because we're both men, fleeing the women that they impregnate. Yeah. That we will say to men that flee the women that they impregnate, you're a loser, we're not going to tolerate you, we're not going to be friends with you, that you're the scum of the earth, that if you impregnate a woman and you just run away from them.
Most definitely.
My father did the same thing. Just because him and my mom had differences or whatever, I came when I was born, at that point, none of that should have mattered. I mean, you have your opportunity to be a part of my life. Hell, why you don't want to be a part? He told me it was because him and my mom still had problems with each other. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean that you could be Casper the ghost on my ass, though. I'm still your child. And by the way, I'm my father's only child. He don't have different children by different women, Well, he told me that I had another sister somewhere. I don't know how true that is, but as far as I know, I'm his only child. And what the hell you couldn't be there for me for? But a lot of these parents, they they get old and they be in pain and they got to take medications, and these be the same parents that didn't want to parent their now adult children, and now they in pain, and now they on different medications, and they got different health problems and stuff like that. And then when you try to be there for them, they become extremely stubborn. And I hate to say this, uh because I'm not trying to push hate towards parents that don't want to be there for their children or their now adult children. But y'all wonder why y'all end up in these nursing homes and stuff, or y'all wonder why a lot of these older folks be up inside of these nursing homes, because they be stubborn as hell, man. Even though they treated their children wrong and their children became adults now, they still don't want them to be there for them. But hey,
Doing
that's just
that
me.
right now.
Most I don't think all men do. I think this is very common. What's the word I'm looking? I think this is very common in just masculine culture in general. Is that men won't do that too?
I actually think it's the opposite of masculine culture too. I think it's actually it's not feminine. It's something else. No. Just fleeing from the difficult.
Well, no, but I'm saying in male circles. I feel like that is something that males would brave, or at least around my age range. That's something that happens.
So then I think we need to demand better. Thank you for coming up to the mic. I know it's not easy. And God bless you. Thank you so much.
Have a good day, sir.
Clearly it's not easy, because dude needs some help. Like, he all nervous and stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know, I like, what you come up there for, bro? Then once you start feeling yourself, and then you felt like you knew what you was talking about, you thought you can get beside yourself. But yeah, you know let's talk about it. I really feel like the biggest issue is that the black man is not inside of the household. But at the same time, if we welcome them back into the household nowadays in 2025, say for instance, things change, laws change, and they make it to where even though you have a criminal record, as a black man, you can still be inside of the household. I feel like, man, these households would be so torn. It would be torn, It would literally be so chaotic, because all you gonna hear is baby mama and baby daddy fighting all damn day. For real. Because they're toxic and they like toxic behavior. Okay, this is another one. It says, oh, actually, that's not the one. Who is this guy? Okay, so I want to look at this one right here, y'all. Because what we doing in this live stream today is we are literally about to expose how racist black people are to Charlie Kirk. Exactly, Keith. Everybody has an opinion. Let's see. Appreciate you, Keith. Yeah, life is too short. But black people, they don't care. They don't care. They just, honestly, life is too short, Keith, but black people, most black people feel like, hell, hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna live on. That's the problem, I'm telling you. Black people really feel like, oh, this is a perfect video, y'all. We gotta watch this one. We gotta listen to this shit. Black people feel like, I'll live one forever. I'm immortal. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. How do you know? How do you know that? So, okay, y'all. Ooh, y'all. Man, I don't know if y'all gonna like this. I don't know, but we gotta listen to this, because we exposing black racism. It says black people refuse to mourn Charlie Kirk's no grief, no respect, MAGA instantly meltdown. Like, okay. Anyway, so basically these are different clips of black folks on TikTok, and just disgusting, bruh.
Black folks, they want us to feel sorry for Charlie Kirk. But before you do that,
We have a problem in Black America. The biggest problem is not racism, it's the lack of dads.
But my point, what I was trying to say is, I don't think that we're doing enough to help these black communities catch up.
If dads are around, kids flourish. You know who agreed with me? Barack Obama. Barack Obama used to make this a central piece of his campaign. He came to this campus back in 2012, drew like 100,000 person crowd, and talked about how we.
I'm sorry, Charlie Kirk, but I was not a Barack Obama fan. You know, Barack Obama was not African American. He was not black. And if I'm not mistaken, he had a mother who was Hawaiian and a father who was Jamaican, or anyway, the man wasn't black. And you know what? He was from Chicago, and the worst thing that he could have did was not give a fuck about Chicago. The worst thing that he could have did was, create these different laws and stuff like that for the rainbow community and say forget everybody else. So I mean, I just wasn't a fan of Barack Obama.
To rebuild the black family and put dads back. Why doesn't the Democrat Party talk about that?
I'm fine with having fathers. I'm not against having black dads.
For sure. I'm saying, but don't we agree? Has anyone heard that mentioned on the national scale in the last 10 years?
Charlie Kirk's death has led me to an uncomfortable conversation that I want to facilitate.
And what is
my
that?
Brothers and sisters, how would you hope your minority friends respond to the celebration of Charlie Kirk's life when he has very publicly said things like this?
Should black people get reparations?
I believe they
have to play for black people. Why?
Wow, that's a really selfish thing you just said.
Hold on. Why should I?
That's a really.
Oh my God, this aligns with everything I'm talking about. Us as black folks, man, we got to get out that mindset, bro. We have to get out that mindset of reparations. Reparations is not going to solve anything, y'all. It's not. Stop saying it. We don't need it. We don't need no reparations, okay? Okay. So I got to say this. I used to be one of the ones that'd be like, yeah, I feel like we need reparations for what? What do we need it for? What do we need money for? See, the thing with black people is they believe that money is going to be the resolution for everything. And it's not. If we get reparations, how is that justice? How is that justice? Y'all gotta stop with this reparation stuff. Cause I stopped it because I had to really think about it. I'm like, you know what? How is that going to solve black problems in the black household in 2025? If they say, okay, you know what, we're going to sign off on this, and every black person in America is entitled to reparations now. There you go. Do you think that's going to shut black people up? I don't think so. I feel like black people will still make more noise about something else. They're going to bring up something else because they feel like they should be entitled to something else. If you ask me, I don't feel like reparations is going to resolve the issue, man. For real. Yeah, it won't fit. So how is reparations going to fix the black community? How would it fix us mentally? As a black people, we already feel like, this is just my opinion. Hell, you can disagree if you want to. But we are already a lost culture because of money as it is. When we get money, we think we somebody. We get money and we buy unnecessary things with it. We go get guns, drugs, nice cars, and just everything that you're not supposed to have. So how are we going to build a better community? And how is reparations going to help us come together as black people? I seen somebody said it is old. How is it old to us? Because like he said, because of the slavery issues from long ago. But you got black people out here that still opting to be slaves right now to this day. Let that sink in. You said I'm ignorant. How? Like I said, y'all is entitled to your own opinion. Now you entitled to your own opinion, but you do not have to call names, because I'm not name calling. You know, I'm trying to read some of the comments because I want to know what y'all got to say about it, with about the reparations. Um, DJ says they what's up, DJ? You said they all care about the money. That is all they care about. Like, why do they exactly, bro? Please, somebody, man. Y'all, please. I'm a black woman myself. And like I said, me and my husband, we used to be all for the reparations. Yeah, we as black people need to be reparations. You know what? And we said this when we were still in the matrix, when we had no common sense, when we lacked common sense. Back then, we would have agreed with every black person on social media, and we would have said the same exact thing that every black person is saying about Charlie Kirk. Back then, me and my husband would have been sitting up here glorifying the fact that Charlie Kirk is dead because we were being followers, not leaders. We literally would sit up here and say, oh, what he's saying is racist, even though he's actually exposing black racism. And most importantly, he is exposing things that happen within the black household, within the black culture. So we would have been just like every other black person, what, 3, 4 years ago. But we thought about it. We went through everything that we went through. We learned from what we went through. And see, that's the problem. Black people don't learn from what they go through. That's the problem. But, we ended up having common sense in the long run. And we started to feel like, man, reparations is not going to help solve the issue. What is it gonna do for us as a black people? Because let's be 100, y'all. I gotta tell y'all something now. This is what y'all don't know. Us as a black people, man, we are so selfish to one another. We watch each other fall, and we watch each other fall to the point where we got to stump each other down. We don't want to watch each other elevate. We don't want to help each other with jobs. We call one another names. If you don't have this name brand, you're nothing. And if you ain't a savage, you a nobody. And it's like, me and my husband get treated wrong in our own community. You want to know why? Because we are really a rare occurrence. They do not see young black couples together with their children, but when they do, they see toxicity. We do not expose that to the world. Okay, whatever little differences we have, we settle it immediately, because we don't want nobody to watch us be separated. These people hate us, bro. They hate us. But what would, if today Trump or whoever was to sign off and say, you know what? Reparations for all black folks. And when we start getting this monthly income or whatever the case may be, how is that going to resolve the issue, man? How is that going to stop the crime? How is reparations? I don't care if it's old or if you feel like it's old. How is reparations going to stop the crime rate overall? How is reparations going to build a better black community of people? Like, how is it going to bring us together? Because we already hate each other. We already don't like to see one another elevate. We don't like to share. Like, gosh, come on, bro. Seriously, I'm just being honest, man. How is reparations gonna I don't want no reparations. It's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. Just like every time a situation happens within a black community, the first thing that black people result in is trying to get money off of it. They bring these activists in, or they bring these lawyers and stuff in because they want money. Their child dies by the hands of a white man, and a white officer, the first thing that they do is go get lawyers and stuff involved so that they can get money. They don't want real justice. Black people believe that real justice is money. And I'm not lying, and it sickens me. It's like all y'all care about is materialism, and all y'all care about is money, and you feel like money is gonna resolve your every problem. When you get that $30 million lawsuit, guess what? because that white man stood over your black son and shot his brains out, and now he's no longer here. Your son is still going to be in his grave. You're still going to be mourning over his death and crying every single day, because the truth is, a lot of black people forget to ask God for strength. Instead, they run to the money. They got to go find the money. The money is going to solve their issues. But once they get the money, they're still sad. They still depressed. They still angry. They still, you know what I'm saying? How is reparations going to resolve that, though? Come on, man.
Non-empathetic thing to say.
Wait, why should I have empathy for a race? I have white guilt because I breathe? Why should the white students here have to work harder to pay for black kids? What is that all about?
Not every black person has lineage connected to slaves.
If you ask me, yes. Exactly. You hubby says, you said the comment section moving very fast. Black people will rob each other for reparations. Facts. I'm telling you. Imagine, listen, y'all, please listen. Imagine them signing off on paper and they said, okay, you know what? Every black American in the United States of America is now entitled to reparations effective immediately. Do y'all not know how chaotic it will get? Do y'all not know how many black folks will rob other black people, steal for their reparations, for their checks? You know what I'm saying? See, the black culture is extremely greedy and selfish. I'm telling you. It's a lot of robbing and killing that goes on. And a lot of the robbing and killing, it only happens because of money.
That's
And
true.
every white person doesn't have lineage connected to slaves.
Yes, that's right. So since every black person doesn't have a lineage connected to slaves, why should we generalize and say reparations for black people?
Because there are people that are in a worse place.
So over 150 years, they didn't have any ability to make better decisions, to save money, and to invest. How about you take responsibility for your own actions instead of blaming the white man?
I'm just saying he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. At the end of the day, what he said, sir, you know, since you believe that he was racist for what he said, it wasn't wrong. You know, for the wages of sin is death. And that's in the Bible. And we need to really take accountability for our own sins and the things that we do wrong. Real talk. You get money, us as a black community. I'm telling you, these YNs out here, they got all this money. And y'all see them in profile pictures or in videos. They hold money up to their ear and stuff like that. They invest in it completely incorrectly. Because you want to know what they're doing? They're going to go buy jewelry, cars, you know, giving their homies and stuff money, you know, handing their homies money. Meanwhile, they baby mama is out here still suffering, living in low income housing, and her children running around extremely dingy and stuff like that because the baby father, he got money. You know what I'm saying? He's still, by the way, he's still living in his grandmother's basement with a nice car. I'm just saying, that all we gonna do when we get reparations is spend it on the wrong thing. They're not gonna build anything for the community. Nothing. Is the streets still gonna be tore up out here? You know, we need to really get out here and clean up our communities and stop expecting a white man to do every damn thing. Because this is our community and we need to really be coming together to help each other. But my bad. I'm sorry. Because see, the thing is, I'm so sick and tired of seeing black unity. Let me tell y'all why before y'all assume that I am racist. I'm sick and tired of seeing, oh, black unity, black power. Let's come together as black people. Well, how we gonna do that if all black people don't have common sense? When you lack common sense, because stupid is the new common sense. Let's just be honest. Stupid is the new smart. Stupid is the new common sense. So when you lack common sense, I don't see black unity. Real talk. Y'all only want to do it for the media. I mean, you only want to do it for social media. I'm so sick and tired of black unity, but it's still black on black crime. We still hate each other. I'm telling you, man, I don't know where they need to really redefine unity. You see, you got a person in there talking about coon, raccoon. Okay, all right. I'm a coon because of what I believe is wrong in the black community, just like Charlie Kirk. Because I'm speaking on what's wrong in the black. I live in a black community. By the way, some of y'all may not know because some of y'all new here. In the city of Chicago. I live in Chicago. I live in the black community in Chicago. Hello. Hello. Make it make sense. So am I wrong for speaking on the things that I see, the things that I grew up on, the things that I've been around my whole entire life? Am I wrong? Man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I really don't know what is it gonna take for people to come out of stupidity. Stupidity. That's a damn shame, man. See, they want me to be dumbed down and stupid, and they don't want me to speak on these things because if I speak on these things, I am something that roams around at night looking in garbage cans. Psych.
Drink water and mind my business. Mind my business. Drink water and mind my business.
Again, if you have a black victim at 2 a.m. in a black neighborhood, it's reasonable to say that it was a black on black crime. 90% of murders after 2 a.m. in Chicago are black on black crimes. I'm from Chicago.
Right.
I happen to know it.
So,
right? Of course we pander to blacks. They're in every TV commercial. They get more privileges to come into society. They come into every college on preferential with lower test scores. You can't ever say anything negative. You can lose your job. You have your entire life obliterated if you say something racist. And yet we have to hear about how racist we are. How about you take responsibility for your own actions instead of blaming the white man?
Remember when Charlie Kirk said that black women didn't have the same brain processing power?
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. You do not have the brain process.
All right, we back.
Power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
Imagine being able to build.
I'm just saying, how is he wrong for what he's saying? Because if white people was asking for reparations, I'm sure black people would come forward. And when black people come forward about that, they gonna really have an issue with that. What? Reparations? I'm not paying for no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
The murder of Charlie Kirk has plunged America into a dark and dangerous place. And frankly, I don't know how we get out of it. But I do know this. We can't keep lying to ourselves about who we are as a country. Every time a burst of public violence disrupts our illusion of America, we hear the same empty ritual. This is not who we are. Violence has no place in America. Those are lies. This is exactly who we are. America was birthed in violence, founded in the brutality of genocide and slavery, and it continues to be violent today with more gun deaths per capita than any other industrialized society. From the Trail of Tears to Tulsa to the Tree of Life, violence has always been the American way. It has silenced presidents from Lincoln to JFK and prophets from Medgar to Malcolm to MLK. It did not begin with the shots fired at Republicans Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump.
okay, Max says, Charlie is being used for division. Can you explain what you mean by that, Mac? Are you saying division like he was being used for division? Yeah, I need you to explain that for me. Thank you, Rundon. Matter of fact, let me read some of y'all comments. Uh Kipling says, "What are you talking about is good, but how much people are like, you don't know what you mean." What's up, Caleb? You said, "Don't let any of this tear you up. At the end of the day, it's just spirit of good versus evil." Yes, 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 yes. Rich versus poor. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know if it'll ever be different. People get played too easily. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Look, let me tell you something. Honestly, y'all, this is my last message because the last two live streams I did was on Charlie Kirk. This is my last message about Charlie Kirk. You know, and it's not because people want me to shut up. If I see something else that's going on online about it, I think I might say something. But the only reason why I'm saying something again today is because I can't take it, man. It's like it is exposing black people and their racism for real. Seriously, and I'm not lying to you. Now, I just want to remind y'all that a lot of these content creators, they get on these social media sites and they become their social media. They actually become their actual name on social media. They no longer know who they are. They're no longer authentic. Once the camera shut off, they're still like literally them from social media, if you get what I'm saying. Like, they're no longer themselves. So I just want y'all to know that none of these topics that I'm talking from who I am. One thing I want to tell everybody across the world that knows about what's going on with this Charlie Kirk situation. Okay, I get it. It can possibly be a very big distraction from the fouls. We already know what type of fouls I'm talking about. The ones that Trump are in. I understand that that's exactly what it could be. But you know what I believe 100% that it is? It is the fact that every time there is an event that unfolds and it goes viral all over TikTok, all over social media overall, and people start talking about it, the thing is, the system, the government wants people to talk. That's all they want you to do. They want you to talk about these things. They want you to talk about your different opinions and stuff so that you can continue to forget who you are behind the scenes. Like, they don't want you to ever know your real true self. They don't want you to take the mask off. So, I know who I am. I went through a lot of things in my life and probably still are going to go through some more things in my life, to those things that basically what I'm trying to say is the things that I went through helped me to take that mask off. Okay. I was just like everybody else in this world. I was still stuck in a matrix. That's the whole thing. That's what I was trying to say. They want you to stay stuck in a matrix. They do not want you to take the mask off. They don't want you to step outside of the matrix. They want to keep you there. That's why they want you to, that's why all these different events unfold. And then they get the whole world talking about it because they want you to forget who you are. Okay. I know a lot of people, they're gonna disagree with what I'm saying because they don't probably understand what I'm saying. The thing is, they want to keep you trapped in the matrix. They don't want you to get out of it. So through all of these bad things that's happening in America, all of these different topics that is talked about behind the scenes, I still know my true self. I know exactly who I am. And I've been took the mask off 3.5 years ago. So this Charlie Kirk situation, God rest his soul, after today, I'm probably not going to be talking about it, but it's not going to make me forget who I am, though. Jerry, thank you, Ann. Jerry says they make movies in front of us feeling what they are. Exactly, man. They want to, and they do, and it's crazy because the worst thing in society can happen to where, people get to recording it on their phones and then they post it on the internet and then they get the whole world talking, but the thing is, when that event happens, it's going to traumatize you. So damn, I'm trying to really say it right. That event is gonna traumatize you to the point where you're gonna keep talking about it. The whole world gonna be talking about it, and you just not gonna know who you are. The problem is people, not even just black folks, but people across America really don't know who they are because everybody is really stuck in the matrix still. So even through this Charlie Kirk situation, people still stuck in the matrix. Even though people say, oh yeah, I know who God is, you know, I believe in Jesus Christ. Same people that say that they believe in Jesus Christ still stuck in the matrix. Honestly. Yeah, I'm just saying. There is very few people in this world that is like out of the matrix, that's no longer there. But you know, people still don't get it. They really still don't get it. Their whole the whole thing that they're trying to do is distract you from who you truly are. They don't want you to come out of the matrix, because if you do, then they're no longer going to be able to control you. They're no longer going to have any type of control over you. As long as they can keep you talking, they know that they got you where they want you. They know that they got you right there in the matrix, and they know that they can control you. They can keep the people controlled. This is all about control. Every time something happens, it is really about control. And I hate to say it, like I said, God rest his soul, but the Charlie Kirk situation, it's about control too, because they have the people under their control. As long as they know that they got the people across the internet talking. But it's people like me that is a real threat to society. You want to know why I'm a threat? Because I'm no longer under their control. I know exactly who I am. That's why, you know, like I said, I climbed out of the matrix 3 years ago. When I realized what this world was all about and how this shit is really a game, and it is their game. And I'm glad you understand exactly what I'm talking about, Jerry. You know, when I say who, you said who is they? The system, the government. The ones that keep everybody controlled. Literally. People are controlled, bro. And they don't even understand. Even the people that have common sense like us, y'all, like, you know, people still are in the matrix still. No matter how many, control, mind control. They just want to control the people. That's all they want to do. They just want you to forget about, just let that sink in, please. They want you to forget who you are. And I know a lot of people is like, nah, I know who I am. Yeah, okay. You know who you are. So let me ask you this. If you know who you are, right? Then why is it that we as a people have believed for so long that we have to live our lives the way that man wants us to live our lives? They believe that they have the blueprint to our life, and people believe that they have the blueprint. It's like, wake up. I mean, not wake up. Be born. Go to school. Get an education. Get your degree. Get you a job or get you a career. Nothing else. You know, they want you to live the American way. They don't want you to live your own dreams. They want you, they want you under their control. That's all it's about. You know, get jabbed up so it can protect you from diseases and stuff like that. You know, they want you under their control. And, you know, when I turned away from celebrating holidays 3.5 years ago, you not know how many people turned on me for that? Because they was like, oh, you know, they believe that I'm under a different type of control. They believe that I follow in a cult, but I don't. Because I follow the law of the Bible. And honestly, it doesn't say in the Bible that we're supposed to be celebrating pagan holidays. But, I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying. That's the real truth. It's a lot of truth to this life that we live in, y'all. And a lot of people still don't know. Even the people with the common sense, even the people that has compassion in their hearts for Charlie Kirk's death, even the people that believe in Jesus Christ, you know, people are just still controlled though. Yeah, every holiday is a pagan holiday. I don't even celebrate Juneteenth. I don't celebrate the 4th of July. I don't celebrate Easter. I don't celebrate Mother's Day, Father's Day. I don't celebrate none of that stuff. None of that stuff. because it was created by man. I celebrate nothing that is created by man because it is idolizing, and I don't want to idolize anything or anybody other than Jesus Christ. So, yeah, they don't listen. You know? Yeah, we must unplug from the matrix, y'all. We gotta unplug. Jerry, I appreciate it. Bob said it is an excuse to get some time off from work. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell y'all, this how deep it goes. The control, right? I mean, it's so many different angles. But one of the angles that I could talk, this is exactly why I could probably talk to Charlie Kirk if he was still alive. And if I wish I had known who he was when he was still alive. I would have really stood in front of him and he would have agreed with majority of the stuff that I'm saying. Well, I don't know about the pagan holidays, because even the people that say that they believe in Jesus Christ, they still worship paganism. So the matrix is definitely real. So this is how deep the control goes, right? The control goes so far as to everybody in the world, in the United States of America, right? Monday through Friday, since school started back, what does everybody do? They wake up at the same exact time. They get their children ready for school if they have children, and the children leave out for school at the same exact time. There's traffic jams and everything because everybody's trying to get to work or trying to drop their children off at school. Even the people that don't have children, they're going to work at the same exact times and they're getting trapped in the damn traffic, no matter what time it is, no matter if it's 7 a.m. or 2 p.m. Either way, you're going to be stuck in that damn traffic jam. That's how deep the control is. Then all of the kids across the world get out of school at the same exact time, pretty much, and it's just control. Everybody goes on lunch break at the same exact time, 12 p.m., 12:30, 1 o'clock p.m., control. You got those friends that's like, hold on, I'm going to call you on my lunch break. Control. Why you can't take your lunch break when you want to take your lunch break? Why you can't take a lunch at 10 a.m.? Oh, because that's considered breakfast time? Control. McDonald's don't serve lunch until what, 10:45, 11 o'clock? Control. Why do you have to eat lunch at the time that they want you to eat lunch? They created this stuff. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, Jesus is Lord. You said it's order. I believe that it's control. Because how come I can't wake up at 6 a.m. and eat lunch? Come on, man. What if I got a taste for some lunch at 6 a.m.? Why do I have to wait until 12 or 1 p.m. to eat a lunch? That's control. Why can't we live our lives the way that we desire? Why do we have to live our lives according to the way that man made it? I'm just saying. I'm a threat, though. I am a threat, okay? I just want to let y'all know that. Yeah. There was once upon a time a system told me that I was a threat. And I didn't harm anybody. I didn't put my hands on nobody. I didn't cuss anyone out. I didn't do anything to anybody. I was just marked as a threat because I think I know too much. Real talk. Thank you, Irvin.
Or Steve Scalise, nor with the attacks on...
Joshua says, Odom Joshua says, poverty leads to control. You depend on a system and have to abide by their rules. Poverty does lead to control. I definitely agree with that. But the whole world is under control too. The government and the system has everybody, up underneath their fingernails. And they know exactly how to get the people talking just to stop you from knowing who you really are. They will go as far as to stopping you from knowing who you truly are. That's all it is. People keep saying, oh, it's the Einstein files. Yes, it probably is. Yes, it definitely probably is. We know how far Trump and his administration will go as far as to covering that up. But y'all got to think about it. It's deeper than that. It is mind control. It is control. They just want to have the people under their control. You said, Ann says, what I don't get is why we would rather fight each other than fight the ones trying to control us all. Because, and people are controlled. I mean, the biggest words in this is control. Control. It's just funny how Drake made a song, Controller. Nah, seriously, control. It is control. They just, see, we are the pieces to their game. That's all it is. And they just move the pieces, This is just a huge monopoly board. America is one of the biggest monopoly boards there is. We are the Squid Games, okay? I mean, we are every game that you can think of that pretty much you have played. Chicago is GTA. Chicago is every shooting game that you have played. That's why they keep calling it Chirac. Well, I don't believe that it's Chirac, but I'm just saying. Yeah, the Wizard's chess, This is a game to them, y'all. This is a game to them. Seriously. They just want to keep playing the game, and they want us to keep playing with them. Even though we don't agree, we agree at the same time, because every chance they get, they're going to keep us under control, and we're going to play their game. That's all it is. We're not going to stop, and they're not going to stop. You got to think about it. They've been playing this game with us for generations after generations after generations. And I feel so sorry, and I feel so bad for the people that has passed away, and they still don't know that they were under the government's control their whole entire lives. They still don't know that their whole entire lives was a lie. Take it from a person that just woke up to the truth like 3.5 years ago. And I'm talking about when it clicked, everything clicked all at once, all in clusters. It was like back to back to back. I was just waking up to everything, and I'm just steady thinking like, wow, bro. And I'm finding videos to confirm it. So after that, I knew that, once I figured out the truth, I knew that this whole entire thing called life, okay, was a game to them. My life is no game. I don't play no games with my life. My life is real, okay? But it's a game to them. That's why they don't care when you die. You're just another number. You got to understand something. We're walking numbers. All of us. We're just tokens to them. And I forgot where I learned this from. I might be wrong with the exact numbers. But every U.S. citizen in the United States of America has a $3 million, what is it called? We're money, okay? We are just walking coins. Every day we wake up, we're their money. We are their money. Every U.S. citizen got $3 million on their head right now, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about the exact numbers. I got to look it up. But yeah, like we are walking numbers. Yeah. Yeah, and see, I like Ann too, man. Ann says, yep, we're just cogs in their machine that supports their whims and desire. You know what I'm saying? These people are sick, y'all. You gotta understand something. This government, these people, they are sick, bro. I would not be surprised for real if they eat people. I wouldn't be surprised, y'all. They are so sick that they put human meat inside of our food. And people keep saying, see, that's why I'm vegan. That don't mean nothing either. You not know what they putting inside of these vegetables, man? You know, me and my husband for the last few months, we have been fasting without fasting. And I'm grateful. It's times where the food gets so low that we got to figure it out. And it's like, you know what? I don't even want to figure it out. My daughter, as long as she's eating, that's all that matters. You know, she eats healthy and everything. But me and my husband, we literally went without for so long to the point where we dropped so much weight. I was just 220 pounds, bro. I'm almost 175 pounds right now. I dropped so much weight, and I'm glad that I did. You want to know why? Because when you stop eating all of that bad processed food, it helps you drop your weight anyway. I don't even like McDonald's. I hate McDonald's. I don't like, Wendy's anymore, Burger King, none of that stuff. I don't eat that stuff. I make my own food here at home. But I'm so grateful to actually drop this much weight anyway. I don't want that stuff. It's just bad for you. All of this food, this stuff in the grocery stores is bad for you. Yeah. So it's just control, y'all. That's all it is. It's control. This whole Charlie Kirk situation and more events to come. Trust and believe. Control. And they will go so far. They are so sick that they will go so far as to, creating things to happen to where it happens to people. Think about all the hurricanes and the tornadoes and, floods and stuff where people actually lost their lives. They will go as far as to making sure that you lose your life. Like, these people just sick, man. Real talk. And they profit off of these disasters too. You said, how do you break the control? You have found the problem. Now what's the solution? Get yourself out of the matrix. Yes, God is the solution. Get yourself out of the matrix and keep God first every day of your life. Exactly. God is the way, the truth, and the light. Real talk. He is. So this is what happened for me and my husband. Once we finally got it all together and it clicked in our minds, and I'm pretty sure we got much more to learn as well. You never too old to learn. I don't care if you 80 years old on here, it's never too late to learn about the truth. Because you want to know something? I do not want to die in a lie. I don't want to die in a lie. See, a lot of people put all of their trust into the system and the government so heavy. But these be the same people that be like, oh, Jesus Christ, God is first. I put God first, but they put the government first, to be honest. They believe and trust in everything that the government says. United we stand, divided we fall exists as a saying for a reason. Exactly. Odin says, sin is a bounding chain and the world is the prison. You said sin is a bounding chain and the world is the prison. God is exactly, man. I'm telling you. The world is the matrix. When you are in the world, it is the matrix. And when you love the world is going to love you back. But when you escape the matrix and you escape everything that is worldly, everything of this world, the world will hate you. That's why they hated Charlie. They hated Charlie because he spoke the truth. You said out of matrix make money. When I make money, less government and system forces affect me. God is a solution for heaven. I'm talking earthly solutions. I don't know. It's just the thing that I just want to say is, and I just want y'all to understand this. I'm not saying stop working. Everybody that's on here right now, stop working, because I understand that we have to work in order to make a living, right? You got to work. So, well, see, the problem is too, you have to get out that mindset of I have to. Because you want to know, once you continue to live with that mindset of I have to, first and foremost, you're opting into slavery. You don't have to do anything. Nobody's putting a gun to your head and telling you to send your child to school. Nobody's putting a gun to your head and telling you to go to work. You don't have to do anything. You do not have to live your life the way that everybody else wants you to live your life. The problem is everybody believes that they have to live their lives that way for validation. Because you feel like you're never going to be accepted. And the problem is y'all want validation from the world instead of the Most High. When you live your life the way that everybody else lives their life, and when you live your life for validation, then you stuck at that point. You stuck. Yeah, money don't control me. Money did control me once upon a time. I allowed it to. That's why. You know, because I would get happy when I get a direct deposit. And then I would get sad and angry when I'm at $0. So I'm allowing the money to control me. And you got to get out that mindset, because you got to be happy rather you at $0 or 15,000. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? I've had plenty of times where I've had a $0 bank account. Once I came out of that mindset, my bank account was $0 for a very long time, and I was still happy. You gotta live your life like that, with nothing. Learn how to live without. It took for me and my husband to be homeless. For 2.5 years. To learn how to live happy without. And we were very happy without. Honestly. Lockbox said, at the end of the day, this is all worldly stuff. We who believe in Christ know that this is only temporary. Exactly. That is so true. That's the thing. All of this stuff around us, you know, this table right here is temporary. This laptop, this YouTube is temporary. You know, I don't rely on YouTube. Real talk. You not know how many content creators rely heavily on these social media platforms to pay their bills and, you know, just to be able to live their lives. I live my life without YouTube. For real. And yeah, I just want to say, like, this stuff is temporary, man. Y'all got to understand, like, this stuff is just materialistic and temporary. Friends, temporary. Family, temporary. Family is just a label, you know. I'm so sick and tired of people saying, oh, blood is thicker than water. No, it's not. Because a stranger on the street would treat you better than your own damn family. But anyway, let me go ahead and let me press the play button.
Democrats, Gabby Giffords, Paul Pelosi, or Melissa Hortman. It is part of our collective DNA as a nation, the bloodstained memory in the stolen soil of the land. We are not now and never have been United States. Charlie Kirk's death makes that plain. One side crowns him a martyr, lowers the flag, and pins a posthumous medal on his coffin. The other cannot escape the consequences, the venom he spat at women, black, brown, and queer people. Yet we are scolded for naming his bigotry, as if racism were merely a political difference. He once said that gun deaths were a price worth paying for the Second Amendment. And then one bullet in Utah prompted conservatives to call for war, just as one officer's knee in Minneapolis prompted Kirk to call a dead black man a scumbag. But we are expected to honor a man who dishonored George Floyd, who called Dr. King awful? What hypocrisy to pretend to honor peace while celebrating a man who did.
First and foremost, sir, you're supposed to honor. We're supposed to honor when we're alive and when we are dead. We are not supposed to shout and say hooray when our enemies fall, no matter how bad they treated us, no matter what they said, bro. You are just evidence of a hardened heart for sure.
Announced Dr. King, our greatest apostle of nonviolence. I take no joy in the death of my detractors. I would rather win on the battlefield of ideals than on the battlefield of weapons. But who in this climate can lead us from here? Who can be our Lincoln? While the 16th president called on the better angels of our nature, the 47th appeals.
You know what? I just want to say this. Anybody that can sit here and do a whole speech, and sit here and say, oh, well, you know, Charlie Kirk said this about blacks, so why should we have sympathy for him? You know, Charlie Kirk was evil, and Charlie Kirk said this about Dr. King and George Floyd. I mean, let's be 100. Nobody should lose their lives. I sympathize for people that lose their lives to health issues, gun violence, whatever the case may be. I sympathize for sure because I have a heart no matter what. But anybody that can sit here and and keep saying, give me a second, y'all. Anybody that can sit here and keep saying, "Oh, Charlie Kirk said this, that, and the third," well, that doesn't mean anything. So just because a and these are the same exact people that tell their children, "Don't worry about what he, she, and say he, she, and they said. Just get your education. You know, haters gonna hate, lovers gonna love." The same people, the same very people that get upset with their children and tell their children, "Oh, don't don't act like this, or don't get upset just because someone says something about you. People gonna talk." Well, if you feel that way about Charlie Kirk was gonna talk. Charlie Kirk had his opinions. So is that a reason for you to not sympathize that somebody died? I mean, the fact that you literally have no respect and you're making excuses to not sympathize for someone's death, it shows how utterly ignorant you are, and you have a hardened heart. It says, the scriptures do say, in the last days hearts will harden, and that's exactly what's going on. Charlie Kirk didn't do nothing but expose a society full of hatred, bro. That's all he did when he died. He exposed hatred from the world. John says, Proverbs chapter 10 verse 7, "The memory of the just is blessed, but the name of the wicked shall rot." You feel me? The name of the wicked shall rot. All this hate that's going on all across the world for Charlie Kirk, you know, y'all, everybody that has hate in their hearts for this man, even when he's dead, and the audacity of you to be standing in the damn... This man is so... I just realized this. This man is so evil, y'all. Let me show you. Let me turn my camera around. This dude is so evil, dude. Is this a green screen or something? Am I tripping? I don't know if it's a green screen. I don't know. But this dude is standing in a cemetery talking like this. You are a real demon, bro. You a real demon. You standing in a cemetery showing how much hate you have for this man that's dead. Do y'all see how evil and wicked people are, bro? And it be the ones, it's the ones that look like us. The ones that are actually human, okay? People keep on talking about how they're afraid of aliens and stuff, the alien invasion. But you should be afraid of these people that are evil and wicked. The same, I'm talking about the people that are afraid. First of all, fear not, okay? We're not supposed to fear anyone except Jesus Christ. But the same people that say that they fear aliens, you need to fear your friends and your family, because it's the ones that's closest to you that have a hardened heart. It's the ones that you work next to every single day in the cubicle that have a hardened heart. Man, people is evil, man. For real. Sadiq said, "I wish the aliens were here. We need a reset." I mean, the way how humanity is and the way how this society is, I feel like we are going through a total reset right now. Like, for real. At this point, it is evil, good versus evil. You said, "Hurry up, aliens, come here and reset this planet." Shit, the humans are already doing the job. Honestly. You know? Humans are already resetting right now. Showing you that they were never human in the first place.
The worst demons of our disposition. And once those demons are unleashed, they cannot be summoned back. In years past, wars gave us fleeting illusions of unity, but America failed to do the slow, painful work that post-Holocaust Germany and post-apartheid South Africa had to do, the work of healing a wounded nation through truth, not lies. This is the truth.
Yes.
America was...
Star-Lord says the tribulation seems to be near. Yes, I can feel it, and I know it is. And I have to agree, because I wake up every day and I tell my husband that it just feels so different. Like this, even when I step outside, you know, I can feel it. I can feel the evil, the hate, you know, everything negative is all in the atmosphere because this is the world. The world. The world is Satan's kingdom. And this is what we live amongst. You know, Satan's minions. So it is good versus evil. And honestly, Satan had already built up his army a long time ago. God is building his army right now as we speak. And he's been building his army. See, it took time for him to get the good people. And right now he's still identifying the good people and the good in people. I mean, Satan's army lives amongst us right now, guys. And it can be your friends and your family. All you got to do, and I hate to say this, man, because somebody did say this, you know, Charlie's death has caused division. I'm going to be honest with you. All you got to do, this is how you can really find out who's who. Talk to your family and your friends and your neighbors, the same ones that you believe is your friends, you know. Talk to them and say, hey, what do you think about Charlie Kirk's death? The minute that they say, oh, that's what he get, I have no sympathy. End of discussion. End of discussion. Nothing else to talk about. Bam, there you go. You found out who they truly were. If an adult says, oh, I have no sympathy for him, that's what he gets. Evidence of a hardened heart. You have nothing else to talk to them about. You said your family never heard of him. I mean, I'ma just be honest with you. All they gotta do is play. I mean, it's all across social media. But all they gotta do is play a few clips. And they're gonna be in agreement of what everybody else is saying. Oh yeah, he was racist. You know, he was racist. Yeah, evil does have many faces. It does. And it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. You know, obviously you see it is happening across the world. Different races of people are showing us how they have a hardened heart. And people keep trying to make excuses for it. I mean, there's no excuse. Nothing else to talk about. If you have any excuse as to why this man should have died and why you should not have any sympathy for his death, you are evil. Okay? You have a demon that manifested inside of you a long time ago. And it just took for Charlie Kirk's death to happen for it to expose itself.
Never great for those that erase from history. The challenge today is not whether we can recreate an imaginary past, but whether we will embrace an honest future and form a more perfect union that never existed. Either we bury the lies that have kept
Why
us
are you
divided,
even talking
or the
right now? I
lies
mean, you
will
just
bury
basically,
us.
dude, you are literally in a cemetery talking like this. People are so evil, man.
If you or a loved one were sexually abused,
And you know
in
what's
these
crazy,
Illinois
too?
youth facilities or treatment centers,
Y'all know what's crazy? I saw this a YouTuber that has a lot of that's a big YouTuber. They are pushing hate for Charlie Kirk's wife now. How evil and how sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, this woman is grieving. I don't care if you don't agree with her and you feel like she's lying and whatever the case may be. The fact that y'all are pushing that much hate and y'all believe that his wife had something to do with his death, and y'all believe that she has no sympathy for real and she's lying for the cameras and stuff like that. I mean, y'all are evil, bro. Y'all evil. Because at the end of the day, and I'm not saying she did, even if she did, God, that is God's judgment. Okay? God is gonna judge her. Seriously. If that was the case. But y'all are just using so many excuses as to why you should not have any sympathy for this man. That's all it is. All it is. Every time I hear somebody say, oh, well, Charlie Kirk said this about your black ass, so I don't care what he said. I'm not sensitive. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what he said. Y'all heard me. There was a few things that he said that I didn't agree with, but guess what? I didn't get upset. I didn't get angry. I didn't say, oh, he's racist. I didn't say that. I didn't say, oh, he deserves to be dead. No, because at the end of the day, I still have compassion, and I don't lack that like everybody else does. Yeah, exactly, Star Lord. Thou shalt not kill. There is no excuse. Odom says the problem with Christianity is that it needs to continuously generate persecution for it to get more believers or survive. The pastors and politicians know this. Excuse me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Persecution for being a Christian has been going on for a very long time. And it's actually still going on in Nigeria, but nobody wants to talk about it. They have this shit online. Christians in Nigeria are getting their throats slit and shot in the doggone head for being Christian, for being believers. But nobody's talking about that. I didn't hear nobody talking about that. Ann says it is like the King James version of the Bible. It was a custom picked lineup of bits and pieces of the Bible approved by King James for more control of the masses. Right. You said Charlie. Okay, hold on, y'all. Phone keep falling. You said Charlie Kirk did not feel sympathy towards George Floyd, other black, but when he had died, brothers and sisters did not want to show empathy. I mean, the thing is, people, and God rest George Floyd, so we don't know where any of these people went, by the way, but people admired George Floyd like he was a messiah. King Von like he was a messiah. And I don't know, man. I don't know. At the end of the day, like I said, that is God's judgment, though. People need to stop trying to make excuses as to why it's like, oh, well, he didn't have any sympathy for George Floyd, or he didn't have any sympathy for MLK. So why should we have sympathy for him? That's God's judgment. You be yourself and continue to have love in your heart. Just because of his views and how he felt should not stop you from being a good person that you are. But obviously it stopped a lot of people from being the good people that they claim to be. The thing is, people that have had a mask on their whole entire lives, pretending to be these loving, caring people, and now y'all see their true colors coming out, right? Yeah, the same people that you sit next to at church are the same people talking about, oh, that's what he get. He deserved to die because of his views on the black people. Yeah, you got these older women that are evil and wicked. And you know what? Y'all days will be numbered. Seriously. The evil. All right, we back. The evil, wicked beings, your days is numbered. I just have to be honest with you. You said people need to stop saying the empathy thing. Man, tell me about it. He said we need more sympathy than empathy. We all got to stop acting like empathy, and we know what everyone's feeling, and instead sympathize for them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like at the end of the day, you were just a demon in disguise the whole entire time. Why y'all sitting up here trying to act like you really care for people? You got people working in these organizations acting like they care for people, and you know they're giving to the homeless and they're helping you. But as soon as Charlie Kirk died, your real demons start exposing who you really are. You show how evil you were. Tell me about it, Zay. Zay says a lot of black people could not help but expose their evil spirit. You know what I'm saying? See, this is exactly what I was telling my husband earlier. I said, man, I can't wait to talk about this. See, black people, they just all around, and I'm not saying every black person, but I mean, obviously you can see most of the black people are just so evil and hateful, even the ones that we live around. Evil and hateful. Every time we step foot outside our door, we get dirty ass looks. You know, they look at us like we don't even belong in our own neighborhood. What the fuck are they doing over here? They need to get lost. Ann says they hated him not for what he said. They hated him for the masses of young people who listened and began to open their eyes to the reality. Oh, talk about it. He was breaking control. Ooh, you feel me? And no, I still do not believe that they found his shooter, guys. I showed y'all the video yesterday. For those of y'all that didn't see it, I highly suggest that you go look at my live stream. Or as a matter of fact, you can go and follow Nitrous. I think his name is Nitrous TV. He's the one that actually has the video up on his, but it's just the opinion. And I do believe that opinion because I believe that they never found the shooter. I believe that it was the people that Charlie Kirk worked underneath. Yes. They had to get him gone because honestly, like Ann said, he was waking up masses of young people, bruh. They have to keep us under their control. They do not want us to not be controlled. I am saying this right now as a threat to society. I'm a threat, okay? I am a danger to society without being a danger to society. Just because of the things that I speak on. R.I.P. Charlie Kirk, man. Okay, let me see.
Excellence. Diversity literally just means difference. This country is 13% black, it's 14% immigrant, it's 1/5 of every person in this country is Hispanic, it's 7% homosexual, and 50% of the country disagrees with you.
Okay,
Diversity is America. You cannot say
all of that is
that
true.
you are America first if you do not care about half of America.
I care about them so much, in fact.
You care about them so much that you don't want to give them
I didn't interrupt you.
access
I care
to
about
equal rights.
Well, hold on. No one said rights. Hold on a second. No.
Give me 1 second. I have to read, because like I said, anybody on here, you are welcome to disagree with me. You do not have to agree with me. Just because you disagree with me does not mean that you're going to get kicked out. The only way that you'll get kicked out and blocked is if you disagree, but you're being disrespectful with your opinions. You said he was racist, he was homophobic, he held the nation's largest summit with young black Americans and even brought everyone to the White House and met the president. Also, he has rainbow community employees on TPUSA. So, what are you saying? Is that a reason for you to have a hardened heart?
I care about them.
It's equal rights, it's equal access.
Let me finish. You know who's interrupting you. I care about them so much. I want the only thing that they're ever judged on is to be their character or their competency, not their skin color.
Okay, so you want it to be a meritocracy.
Yes.
So let's talk about a meritocracy.
Okay.
What experience does Kash Patel have to run the FBI?
He has amazing experience.
No, he
In fact,
doesn't.
You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color. But I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear it because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know, it's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get it on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course, that's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance. Of course. Oh no! no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee, or Michelle Obama, or Ketanji Brown.
R.I.P. Stephen Darby, but Stephen Darby even said, and this is just a little bit off topic, but anytime black politicians start popping up all over, you know we in the end times. Anytime black people start getting in, having high positions and hold any power, you know we in the end times. Black people get in these high positions in office, and they just show how corrupt and evil they are. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I've had to deal with a black judge before, and he was nothing to play with. He was actually one of the devil's minions, if you ask me. But that's another story for another day.
Jackson, they think this is persuasive. They think as they kind of now reveal that I'm only here because of anti-white, anti-Asian forced discrimination policies.
You see, when you join the USCCA, when you call in or click that join button on our website, two things happen.
He said, here comes Al Sharpton. You feel me? You know, Jesse Jackson, all of them. You know what I'm saying? You know, soon as something happens, soon as a tragedy happens, here they come. Marching on in. But when there's black on black crime, they ain't nowhere to be found. Like this one person said, you have to go where the money, find the money.
A resentful activist that hates white people honestly through. Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. When black...
That right there is what got black people pissed, man. When this dude said, okay, here we go, we got to say it again.
Turned me into a bitter, resentful activist that hates white people honestly through. Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
That part right there, man, that one got the black people pissed off. He said, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, you know, I'm going to ask, is he qualified? I mean, I can't say that I dislike him for saying it, because it is so true. When I seen a black judge, I was questioning, like, a black judge? You know? You know what? What is so crazy? When black people, I'm telling y'all, when black people hold any power, and I'm not saying every black person, but it is very rare when you find a good black person that has a high position, because most of them, they get beside themselves. Exactly. I'm just saying, let me replay it again, man.
Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
He said, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's... me too. When I see a black judge, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he or she is qualified. When I see a black police officer, boy, I hope they're qualified. Come on, man. Make it make sense. Because these black people, they get in these positions, in these high positions, and they become extremely racist. A black pilot, man, he probably, you know, doing all type of stuff behind the scenes. So you gotta ask, like, black pilot, is he qualified? I mean, black people would ask the same question when white people get when white men become a part of the NBA, or white women become a part of the NBA, if I say it that right. Yeah, I don't know, y'all, but you know what I mean. Shit, when white people become a part of a black sport, even though there is no such thing, okay? They always try to make everything about color and race and stuff like that. You know, you can't do this if you're white, can't do that if you're black, or whatever the case may be. But it's really more so towards white people. Let's be 100.
When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that? The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil. But what happened?
A certain skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Remember what BLM stands for? Burn, loot, and murder.
Yeah, DEI stands for one of the biggest. Just for clear.
Can we also acknowledge, due to the laws under Jim Crow, that black people were significantly hindered from economic
Guys,
advancement?
this is a really important question. The data shows not really. Black Americans are poorer today in 2024 than they were in the 1950s. The disappearance of the black father has been the number one driver of black poverty in this country. They at least agree that black dads not being around is a bad thing.
Anyone's father not being around is a bad. But starting in the 1980s and continuing onward, there's been a war on drugs. Is this correct?
I like the war on drugs. Blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. That's not a war on drugs, that's a culture problem. Why are so many blacks committing murders outside of their population? So we've spent $20 trillion on uplifting black communities. $20 trillion, and black Americans are poor.
I mean, if you think about it, he's not lying. You know, when he says black people commit more crimes than they do, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. But honestly, you know, damn near every school shooter was white. I mean, and that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. You know, I'm not making any excuses for any crime and stuff like that. But, you know, I gotta honestly say this too. Damn near every school shooting that has happened, it was a white person. No division here, guys. Just want to let you know that. But yeah, when we speaking in terms of black people do commit a lot of damn crimes, and it be for the dumbest shit ever. Dumbest shit is always for materialism, man. They commit crimes for fancy stuff, you know, for money. That's all they do.
Subsidized housing. Medical.
Oh yeah, and you can call me a coon if you want to, because I know, you know, people just exactly, they kill for nothing. I know people feel like, oh, look at her, she's a coon, talking about her own race. I mean, y'all, see, this is my thing. I can't even walk around my own black community. I don't even say a word to anybody. Like, I don't speak to nobody. I just mind my business. But I can't walk around my own community without getting dirty looks, or without a YN looking at me like, damn, who can I shoot and kill next? She looks like my next victim. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't go in establishments in my own community without everybody looking at me like I'm one of their next victims. Seriously. They look like they ready to rob, kill, steal, everything that you could think of. And you know what's so bad? Even the older black generation in Chicago is just so lost and dumbed down. And, you know, they enjoy violence. They enjoy chaos. They enjoy negativity. And I'm not saying every older black person, but shit, majority of them.
Okay, public schooling. Don't.
Shout out to hubby. He said, as a black man in Chicago, I dare me to spread love to other brothers. I may lose my life by just being polite. I'm telling you, I don't bother anybody. No, I've been living in this neighborhood for almost 3 years, bro. And I literally do not talk to anybody still. You want to know why? That's bad, though. That's bad. You can't. We're supposed to be able to live in our own communities and come out and say, hey, how you doing, neighbor? You know what I'm saying? Or, hey, how you doing? You know, it's all love. But we can't even do that. But you want to know why? Because we hate each other so much. And we hate on each other. If anything, a lot of black women despise me because I actually have a man by my side that is a father to his child that is still in the household, okay? A lot of black women really dislike me for that reason. A lot of black women believes that I am Miss Know-It-All. You know what I'm saying? They be like, oh yeah, see, the problem is you just think you all that. And this is coming from older black women, 40 plus, 50 plus. Oh, you think you all that? You think you know everything? You know, I don't think I know everything. I just believe that I'm a lot more knowledgeable than a lot of dumbed down ass people with no common sense that gets labeled as smart even though they're slow. Okay? I'm just being 100. And then, you know, I get the most hatred, though. Majority of the times, I get the most hatred in my own black ass community from my own black people. Even my husband do as well, for being a gentleman, for being a real man, for just presenting himself like he's supposed to present himself as a man that honors his wife. We get backlash from our own community of people because we honor one another and we love one another and we show love to each other in a black community full of toxicity, full of evil, full of just ratchet. Let me stop, y'all. Y'all gonna get me started, man.
Subsidized college. We're talking about $20 trillion in spent on the Great Society, and yet Black America is poor, or murderous, or dangerous.
Part of equity.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist. Okay? I live what I believe. What do? I get dirty every single year. I'm sorry. If I see a black pilot, I'm gonna be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
I just gotta show y'all this disgusting dude right here. Bro, oh my gosh, ew, what is wrong with people? This dude has a newborn child that he's holding, and I just want to show y'all. I want to show you. Look at this dude. Look at him. Let me go back. Look at this dude.
Equity.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe.
Look at this effeminate ass man right here, though. You sitting up here talking about Charlie Kirk, bro. Look at you. You got piercings all in your face and your nose and your eyes and everything, and you have the audacity. Charlie Kirk wasn't racist. You should feel bad that he passed. Oh, really? And you're holding a newborn child. The audacity. The audacity. This is evidence of a hardened heart. Look at this demon right here holding a baby. They don't have nothing to do with this. Oh, precious little baby. It's okay. It's okay. This is a demon right here, y'all. He do not need to be around this baby, for real. You have a hardened heart, sir. And you will be judged. And I'm going to be honest with you. If somebody was, anybody that has a hardened heart towards Charlie Kirk, I do not wish death on you. I don't wish nothing bad on you. God bless your soul, sir. I ask that you go to him to turn away from your wicked ways. Seriously, you are evidence of a hardened heart / demon, sir. Seriously. And you got the audacity to be holding the baby in your arms, sir.
What do? I get dirty every single year. I'm sorry. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question when you see a black...
So, somebody said... Alright, y'all, we back in the house. So, we gonna have to... I can't believe they just did me like that. Alright, forget y'all YouTube. It is what it is. But y'all know what? It's crazy. I was actually finna get ready and end this stream anyway. I appreciate everybody for coming. I appreciate everybody. I usually do shout outs on the live stream, but I can't. Right now it's way too many people. But we got a few people that was very active in the live stream, very engaging, and I really do appreciate that. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe. And I got a family I got to get to. RIP Charlie Kirk. This was my last live stream on Charlie Kirk. Tomorrow we're going to do another topic. Or if I hear something else about Charlie Kirk, I might talk about him again. But, y'all, Charlie Kirk exposed black racism. I don't care what nobody say. He definitely did the thing. Nevertheless, y'all, go check out my other live streams and wake them folks up.